I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The lyric scientist forever.
Because we are number one, and you are listening to the number one episode. Look, I'm already fucking it up. The number one podcast here in North America, the world, and soon to be Cuba. Yes, folks, it is the 183rd episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. Yes, 183 episodes. As always, it is I, RJ, the pizza guy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Along with Jared, the visual mad scientist. Jared,
Okay.
say hello.
I'm trying.
Yep. There's Jared, and he's saying hello.
And apparently the sound is fantastic.
The sound is fantastic.
If the sound was sound fantastic this week, it should have been fantastic last week, and nobody said nothing to the last few minutes of this podcast. So I'm kind of upset at our viewers last week. I have been, bro, I didn't even post it on the Facebook page because I was so aggravated at how bad the sound was. It was a good show too, but whatever. We're back. All right. I just had to get that off my chest.
Well, since Jared has finally got that off his chest, folks, and it seems like he's been carrying that burden for the last 7 days, but
100%.
7 days is a long time to see all of you and not to see us. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. We are joined this week by recurring guest star, Will.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome back, man.
You have
Welcome
to
back.
come in a little bit.
Oh, I got to come in.
Yeah, you got to get on the camera. There you go.
There we go.
Now,
Much better.
Now, as we like to say, at my place of employment, you're on the internet. Very, 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 very important thing to say. So, Will, welcome back. Jared, thank you for getting that off your chest. And viewers, if you can't hear us and listen to us for 2 hours and tell us 20 minutes beforehand, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
First of all, okay, so Epic, what's up, Epic, by the way?
Shout out, Epic.
He's saying I should rewatch the comments. I get it, but I didn't hear shit. I didn't understand what anybody was saying. I just heard it was that we were far. It sounded like we were far away.
Just make the excuse that you were drunk, bro. It's
I wasn't.
Well, believe it or not, me and
No,
Jared
that
were,
was what. No, what happened was I forgot to plug in the power. And what happened? The power ran out, so everything went down for a second. And I think when that went down, the USB didn't reconnect. And I didn't because everything else was working.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck it. I guess we're still going, but the sound.
It didn't transfer through.
No, the sound wasn't going through. And I have a fucking card that I can record the sound on.
Yeah.
Directly, like as a backup.
I got the same thing.
But it's a fucking pain in the ass to do all that shit.
I mean,
not a pain in the ass, but that's a miniature joint. I would have had to get it out, resync all the fucking the video. It would have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, if you download strip it out from the podcast, what's it called, the Rodecaster Pro, which I love as well. But yeah, man, like
you're welcome, by the way.
Oh, bro,
this thing is, as somebody who is obviously just a guy here, I will say this thing is pretty cool. This is by far the coolest toy we have.
Honestly, it is the best toy you ever can possibly have. If y'all ever venture out to do podcasting, I've learned the hard way of not having great sound in my podcast.
It's the worst.
It's the worst thing ever.
The whole point of a podcast
is
the sound. Yeah.
So once I learned that and just went Rodecaster, everybody's like, "Yo, where'd you get your stuff at?" I'm like, just everything Rodecaster.
Yep.
Rode mics, Rode everything, because it's just like one of the best essential get-ups for a podcast.
What I'm gonna get, and I just haven't bought it yet, but like they get the screens they got for it. I want to get those to cover. I like the look of these. It looks good on camera, but again, the sound.
You mean the
they have the
mic covers,
the windscreen.
Yeah. I got those.
But they're fucking $20, and
Yeah.
I still, again, these look good on camera. But sometimes like this guy, he gets loud and he like
obnoxious.
The pops.
I interrupt people.
You're not even. This is beyond your technical ability to understand. Like when it comes,
my brain is only so big. Folks.
When it comes to the sound, like certain. Like,
it's the puh.
Yeah,
it's the
pops.
It
basically gets rid of the pop, so it smooths everything out.
Yeah.
So like even that S that I can hear here, maybe they can't hear it as well because these have built-in windscreens in them.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about this. This is a cheap fucking mic for $100 for these, bruh.
Yeah, I would think they've done us justice.
They're the ones that I really want are $400 a piece.
Which ones you want is the one I got. It's the the Rodecaster Pro mic. It's the one that's like a fucking foot long.
Oh yeah.
That joint. Yeah, if y'all do this,
I want the Shure the M7B or SM7B. That's the one I want.
you can probably get that. Well, if you trade in,
Those are $400.
if you trade in 2 to 3 mics and only have your guests on here, talking logistics here,
Yeah.
it'll cost you. If those are 4, this trade in will probably give you like. One thing about Guitar Hero or Guitar Music, whatever the fuck it's called, they don't give you dollar for dollar what you pay for. They're going to say $60, $70 for these when you know these are $100 a pop.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best route, but at the same time, I think there's other places you can just everything got Affirm or freaking Shop Now, pay by credit stuff. I think we're all in that little simulation part, so it's just like, man, just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
It's just bite the bullet.
These work fine. Like if we grow bigger, then I'll invest.
When we grow bigger,
And
folks.
With sponsorships.
Well, yeah. Shit. Like fucking Shure, and I use Shure for when we do the stand ups joint. I have 2 of those because I ended up having to buy. I have 2 sets.
Yeah, just in
of
case.
everything.
Just
No,
in case.
That was by accident. The Uber guy almost stole my shit.
Yeah, did you get it back? Did you tell me?
I got it back. That's why I have 2 sets. Now.
I gotcha.
But now, here's the slick shit. Instead of using the fucking hairbrush to practice my shit in my house or a comb or something to practice,
You got the actual mic?
I have an actual mic to fucking stand.
That's sweet.
With a stand and everything to stand.
That's pretty dope, though.
No, it's practice minutes, man. It's definitely helps out a lot.
Hey, fuck you, Al.
Yeah, Al. Happy Memorial Day
He
weekend.
said,
to
how
you.
was your date, guys?
We had a great time. We went to the movies.
Yeah, we went to the movies today.
We went to the movies. We spent $12 on a ticket for a desolate theater. You know what? I'm going to send you the
$12. Hold on, back it, back it,
send me the photo
back it up.
Yeah, what?
$12 on a ticket.
Yeah, for one ticket.
for one ticket.
Just a ticket.
Man, that's an adult ticket.
Oh, y'all went one and then y'all just sneaked in.
No, we've done.
Oh no,
that
I
before.
paid my own way.
Yeah, we paid for our own tickets. But
No, what you do now, you just go to the you go to the little kiosk and you fucking you pick your seat and swipe your card, and then they give you a ticket.
Oh, my fault. I'm married. I'm thinking $12. Like $12 for.
Oh, no.
Nah, man, it's 2023.
I'm buying my own ticket.
Well,
I'm like $12. I was like, hold on here.
What fucking theater do you go to?
Where's the fucking theater, real quick?
He was like $6 tickets. Where is this at?
Yeah,
Where is this at? Where
it's no
y'all
longer
went to-
97, folks. It's 2023. If you want,
We're gonna get to it, Al. We're gonna get to it.
and so we go to the theater and we go to the local one for pretty much for everything we go to, and it was very prosperous and very. I don't want to use the word popping because it sounds dumb, but it was very filled attraction for a while. And in the last several years, obviously with COVID,
It went slowly down. Yeah, as we probably go maybe twice a year to the actual theater.
maybe 2, maybe 3 times if we're lucky, depending on what's out.
Depends on what's out. Yeah.
And so, going to the movie theater, at least for, guys our age, it's going to the movies.
Yeah.
You go up, you go get your tickets, you get your popcorn, you get your Milk Duds or whatever it is. You sit down. It's a whole experience. Me and Jared, and I'm glad you said that, since kind of we've been let back out of the house since COVID's dissipated or whatever the hell happened. We go, I mean, I don't know.
No, you're right.
Look,
You're
man,
right.
they're saying there's another wave in China. I'm like, yo, cut it.
Oh, it can stay over there.
Yeah.
But we go up to the theater, so we caught a 1:15 show today. We saw The Machine, the Burt Kreischer movie. And as we're walking up to the theater, even when I was in my car, I'm looking at the parking lot, and I was saying, Jared, I was like, man, this place is so desolate now. And where we get out of the car, we walk up to it, and some of the businesses that were surrounding the movie theater that were privately owned are no longer there. And Jared pointed out, he's like, hey, this is all corporate shit now. Like literally. And I looked at everything, and I was like, you're right. And then we walk up to the front of the theater, and it's been like this the last couple of times we went there, but today
But it wasn't like today.
Today it really just sunk in. There's the whole, I guess, host stand, where you get your tickets outside where they show the movie times. Everything's off. There's a tumbleweed blowing by. There's no lights on.
Literally, probably a tumbleweed.
Yeah, I mean, it looked sad, and it's just like
They took basically. I remember there being employees
person
back
in the
there.
front.
Yeah, a whole line.
Like multiple employees, lines of people getting their tickets.
Mm-hmm.
The board has all the number and all the movies.
With the old school
times.
way, not like electronic, but the old school.
No,
way.
this was just electronic.
This build was electronic. Yes.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's a bunch of LEDs and it had the times of the movies, but the shit was off. And there was nobody in there. It was just a blank box. It was the weirdest shit. I'm gonna post it because he's gonna send me the picture.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, dude. I was like, I have to take a picture of this because one, not only is it disappointing, I guess as somebody, we all love film. Any avid film, lover, going to the movies is fun. But you sit there and it's like, man, I remember I used to come up here, senior night in high school on Friday night with my buddies to catch whatever new flick was out, and it was kind of the place to be. And now nothing, and it's just like, and then I think about it, it's like, oh man, this is also what streaming every major film does now. And I'll even add to it. So we went inside, we bought our tickets. It's 1:00 in the afternoon. I was like, Jared, you want a beer? And he was like, it's a little early. And I was like, you know what? I'm looking at everything. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to drink a beer. I was like, I bought a Truly. And the guy behind the counter, I just got a new credit card in the mail. I got a brand new credit card in the mail. So I'm like, I've only swiped it twice. I said, hey, man, let me get a Truly. I said, how's your day been? I'm just trying to create conversation. He's like, yeah, man, I'm working. He was like, somebody's got to go to the movies. Like he just hated life, like everything about it. And
It sucking the mic like it's fucking.
No, a wiener, Jared.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyway, but that just goes in. They have two people behind the counter running popcorn, sodas, all the condiments, and it just kind of sunk in. It's like these people don't even want to be here.
Nah.
No, they look like they were. They really did. I mean, the younger ones didn't care. Well, I take that back. Even the guy who took our ticket, which that changed from the last time we were there. Last time we were there was nobody, but now they put a person there to actually
look in that. People
no,
probably walking in.
I used to do that all the time. So when they used to have no one in the front, and there would be someone like either near the ticket thing, my wife and I would always be like, yo, someone look over there and see if there's a guy in the front. If there was no guy right there, we're like, all right, let's get our popcorn and just dip in. Yeah. Or it's like, because it's like, dude, you can walk in with a free movie. Like it was.
Yeah. I think that was a lot of COVID time too.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And it's funny you say that because there's probably on several occasions in the last few years that me and Jared have gone that we could have easily probably just walked into the theater. Easy. No problem. But me and Jared are upstanding citizens.
We're good people, and we buy our tickets.
Our $12 tickets.
Liars.
But regardless.
I bought my ticket.
Yeah, but then I'm sitting there and
I regretted it afterwards, though. When I figured out that I didn't have to.
And then, we go into the small theater. Obviously, the movie we saw isn't some major motion picture that everybody's going to go out to see. I mean... And it was in one of the smaller theaters. There was probably maybe 8 people total in it, which was fine. I mean,
y'all got leg room though.
Yeah. So I actually me personally, I'm not into big crowds, but if I'm going to like a premiere night for a big movie and it's a packed theater, I think that's cool. I think that's as long as nobody's in there fucking being a dick and talking during the film or whatever, because it's a part of the experience. The whole film, like, it's the next major Marvel movie or whatever the case may. Everybody's excited for it, and that always, kind of amplifies everything. But the whole setup, the whole look of it just looks sad, and it's just like, man, is this the world nowadays? Is cinema really just out of style?
Well, that was why I wanted to go to the theater specifically to watch this, because I wanted to. First of all, I'm supporting comedy.
Yes,
and there was a couple trailers for some other movies that were comedies, and I was just like,
Did you see the one for, I forget his name, the one about his father? I forget the comic person that's doing that one.
About his father?
It's about his father, and Robert De Niro is his father.
I know what movie you're talking about.
You're talking about Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco, thank you. Yeah, his stuff is good, but I'm waiting to see that one.
Yeah, I do want to see that one. That one wasn't one of the previews. It was some
really.
Yeah, it was some of the previews were stuff that isn't on TV yet.
And it's funny you say that. So typically when you go see a preview, it's pretty. We basically saw like the red band trailers for these films where they're cussing in the previews. They're like, oh, what the fuck? There's a movie coming out that's using.
What do you mean the actual fucking commercial? I mean the trailer for before a movie. That's
Yeah, but
so you see the real thing.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think in most trailers, you don't see too much swearing, like shit,
Well, that's-
fuck, damn.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
we were in the theater. We were in a rated R movie.
You gonna hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, I
There's
just feel
different-
like
there's different cuts of trailers.
I know that. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I was like, I'm calling it a red band trailer because
okay.
it's like not like deemed appropriate for younger audiences, kind of thing.
You just seem like a
The bitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I heard a cuss word. Oh,
No, I mean I cuss all the time. I say the word anus on a daily basis.
we know you say it on this show weekly.
Exactly, and it will
He just
continue.
made his mark right there.
Yeah, there we go, folks. One anus a week is good for you. So
Oh,
anyway,
my
God damn.
just saying. but back to my story. It was just kind of sad to see, and it's like, hey man, I have very fond memories of going to the theater, and it's like, and I know it's not every theater. I'm sure some theaters are still thriving somewhere, but it ain't here, and it's just kind of a shit.
I'm sure it's probably the same everywhere.
Nah, like I just moved back out to Gainesville. The Regal Theater out there is always packed. It's always packed. It used to not be always packed, and then certain parts in Alexandria, like the one
They just
down-
reopened that one though, right?
That one's been.
Oh, you said Gainesville. Oh, you out there with one of my buddies, our buddies that lives.
You're
out
thinking
there.
about Manassas, the one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They
About.
closed that one down.
Yeah, I knew it was something. Either they reopened it or they closed it. I remember watching. I saw one episode of. It was probably the most famous Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes. It was for my birthday, and it just happened to be playing around that same time. And it was the one where Picard becomes a Locutus.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-part series. And I always saw it on TV. I was just like, fuck it. It might be a cool thing to see it on the big screen. I mean, it was still in 4:3, but like to see it on that big ass fucking screen.
With fresh popcorn, man.
Yeah. So that was cool. But
Continue with your story, man. We
Yeah,
keep on
no,
going.
his
no,
story
no,
is
no.
fucking over. We're done with his fucking story.
Done with my shit.
Jesus Christ.
No, are you a popcorn guy?
Jeez.
I am a popcorn guy, but you have to have it layered.
Yeah.
You have to give me a popcorn, give me butter and a half, and butter on top.
Yeah.
Because
see-
by the time you get from the popcorn stand to your seat, the first layer of popcorn is gone. It should be gone by that time. Because I'm a picker. I'm one of those, like, I get my McDonald's food, I'm gonna get my fries done before I get home. So most of the time, that first layer of popcorn is gonna be done before I get to my seat.
All right, I think that's a fair argument too, because that's right. I 100% agree with this guy. Will, you're a smart dude.
Do you layer or you don't layer? This is what happens when you have a wife, guys.
I'm not a huge popcorn person. I will eat it, not to get.
Oh
but,
my God.
bro, look. Even today, I didn't get anything. But aside from the reasons why I didn't get anything, I didn't get anything. I was hungry and I knew we were gonna eat afterwards, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna hold
Save
it."
your meal, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $8 for it. And then I was like, do you guys at least have hot dogs? We don't have any hot dogs right now. Like, what do you mean right now, dude? Like, that's the one thing you should have. That should be ready and popping.
Yeah,
But they
ready
didn't
and
even have
popping
that.
dog.
No.
Popcorn, hot dogs, and fucking whatever drinks and
Nachos.
Yeah, like they didn't have none of that shit.
Yeah, it's again, it's
Sad.
a pretty sad thing to see. And so I went up to the counter.
That big said butter by the thirds.
Butter
By the third, there you go.
Yeah, this
that's
is
how
how-
you do it. You
Yeah.
get butter by the third. You get the bottom, you get the middle, you get the top. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about going back to your seat.
Yeah, no, he's actually a very intelligent man. He's like the Kris Kringle of Wisconsin. That's what we like to call him.
This guy.
I'm just telling you, that's what he is. If I had ever met him in person, that's who it is.
He's been on the show. You may have seen him on.
I probably have.
Yeah, super awesome guy.
Nice.
No, but it's like, it's just sad. So I go up to the counter. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get an IPA or anything heavy because it's early in the day.
And that's different in movie theaters now. You can get drinks in fucking movie theaters.
Yeah, that
So-
wasn't like that as a kid.
No, you have
No.
to shuffle that shit in somebody's purse or someone's.
I did that so many times.
There you
dude.
go.
My Steel Reserve by the time, like
Oh, dude.
two tall boys Steel Reserve by the time that movie was over, I am fucked up.
Dude, I remember I remember one of the only times I snuck booze into a theater. I went to go see, oh God. and I hate
Again,
to-
you sound like a bitch.
Yeah, just look at me. Look at my
Hold on.
China over here.
One of the only times that I ever snuck alcohol.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Anyway, so one of the only times, folks, because I am a saint, snuck alcohol into a theater. I went to go see fucking Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg.
Shit fucking movie.
What a horror! Because if you've played the games and you are a fan of the games, just like myself, because they are incredible games. You go see this movie. It's awful. It's
I would say
super
incredible
awful.
game. The first one was incredible.
All three of them, I think, are great. No, I'm sorry. I'm a big Max Payne fan. So, because Rockstar doesn't ever do me.
They don't miss.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Rockstar don't miss.
Yeah, they have never made a game that I've played that I think is bad ever. It was. I remember when Bully came out for the PS2, and I'm thinking, who the fuck would play this shit? That game was amazing.
I was watching something recently that game came up.
No, but
They were saying somebody looked like the guy from there.
But so I go into the theater. I got my Steel Reserve, but I didn't have 2 cans. I took the whole 40-ounce bottle in there, and I got my hoodie on. I got it in my hoodie. I'm sipping it and I'm chugging it and whatever, because we're obviously sitting at the top where nobody can see us. And this is before you could select your seat.
Oh, that's man! What a time to be alive.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, here.
That
there's
is a
seat
good
here.
addition to going to the movies, though.
It's
Dude,
a good.
that was amazing.
It's a cool
I don't got to
feature.
sit next to nobody over here. Good to go.
Man, you know how you had to hawk so you had date night. You had to be at that movie theater at least 30 minutes in advance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
to
of
get
course.
to your seat.
Especially if it's a popping movie.
And if it's a popping movie too, you gotta get that 45, bro. Like, it was so bad. Now select seating, you can show it right before the previews.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be
That's
perfect.
pretty much. Okay.
So
First of all, God damn it.
Yeah.
They got to do something about these previews, bro.
yeah. So
They're trying to shove. You've been talking too fucking much.
this is a podcast. This is what I do.
We got an hour 45 left.
Yeah, exactly. Let me fucking talk every now and then.
Damn it.
Fucking, first of all, like, we get in there, we're on time. Like, normally I'm never on time to a fucking movie. I don't know, it's because they're trying to, whatever people they get in the fucking theater, they're trying to, like, hey, we got to show you all these fucking movies that we got coming out because we want you to come back. Bruh, it was at least 30 minutes of fucking previews.
Close to it. Yeah.
You know why? Because this goes back to streaming. There's only maybe a month to maybe 6 weeks of movies in actual, like, a theater.
Yeah.
And then they cut the times and put everything to $29.99 on the stream on HBO Max or
Yeah.
what have you.
No.
Because, like, when I was like, this happened to me twice. The first time was Super Mario Bros., which is probably a top 5 video game movie made to a movie.
I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I loved it.
But
I loved
that's what I'm hearing from people. It's like one of those, it's one of those. 6 weeks went by. That one's cut half, $29.99 HBO Max. Next one, or one prior to that one, John Wick. I never saw the fourth one. I was like, all right, I got a
I
month.
just saw it's on my place where I see movies. It's on there.
Understood.
I just saw it the other day.
Understood.
Highly recommend it.
I know, because it's going to have everything I want. Then 6 weeks again, automatically $29.99. And both me and my wife were like, well, what's the point of going to the movie theater when it's right here? Like, you want to see it on the big screen. So I think movie times are getting cut a lot. And you have a bad movie, that thing's probably going to last like 3 weeks. Comedies don't last long in movie theaters unless you're number
that's
one.
because they're shot. That's what I was trying to get to. Like, that's why I wanted to see this one because, we were talking about it before. Like, I'm kind of a fan of Bert Kreischer, but I'm also a fan of comedy, and I think this movie had a chance. Although, and I don't know how you feel, I think this movie had a chance to kind of break the mold of like shitty comedies that they've been putting out. But I don't know about your thoughts.
All the Kevin Harts.
Yeah, pretty much. My thought is I didn't laugh as much as I thought I was going to laugh. But I liked the storyline and I liked even the action. Like it was a good comedy action movie. If that,
I mean, yeah, I mean, if it falls in that demographic. And what I was telling him before,
we're talking about The Machine, by the way. If anybody's
and go check it out. Yeah, support it. It's a good film. But what I was telling Will when you came downstairs initially is that I went into it with really no idea what I was going in to watch or see or anything of that nature. And I liked the movie. I thought it was good. Now, to your point, did we roll out of our seats laughing? No. There were funny parts, funny quotes, just moments, yeah. But to Jared's credit and to what he said, it just had a good overall. It's kind of like the film was made like a self-reflection of himself and what he used to do and who he's become as a man. And
the only thing that you kind of said something to that earlier. The only thing I think about that, you got to remember this is fictionalized.
Yeah.
The original story, which you never saw the original.
I did not see the
story,
original story.
The actual thing that he did on stage, which made him famous. I don't want to say made him famous.
No, he admits that it made him famous.
Yeah, it blew up, and you know the reason behind how that he started doing that on stage, right?
Why?
He told that on the Joe Rogan podcast one time.
He was talking about that with Rich Eisen. I was listening to that. Yeah.
And then Joe was like, "You should tell that on stage," and he was like, "Really?" So he fucking told that on stage. It fucking blew the fuck up. Like they took, I think it was one of his specials. They took the clip and put it on like Facebook and other places, and it fucking blew the fuck up.
Yep.
And everybody knows who fuck Bert Kreischer is now.
Yeah.
But
he did it in the right club,
it was a fictional movie. A lot of stuff, like his mom's alive still.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No.
In the movie, his mom's dead, and and then his dad obviously isn't Mark Hamill,
Which is a shame.
and he doesn't sell carpets. He's a lawyer in real life, or former lawyer.
Dude,
And those weren't his daughters.
I know. I'm
course.
just saying. Can Mark Hamill do any wrong in life?
No, he can't.
No,
he can't. No, he can't.
I think I'm going to say it here on the show, and I'm going to say it for people around the world. Mark Hamill is like God tier.
Yes.
So we will.
There's very few.
He is not to be talked about in bad manners in any way, shape, or form on the Mad Scientist Lab podcast.
No, because he's been everywhere.
He's making this is his victory lap now. Everyone has a victory lap.
Yeah.
And I think this is his last go before he's like, I'm about to call it quits.
But I also think it's cool because, now granted, I don't know much about Bert Kreischer and his comedy background.
I still can't believe you never saw The Machine Story.
I'm very surprised by that.
If I've seen it, I forgot about it. But
you probably saw it a long time ago. I think I even shared it on Facebook a long time
Let
ago.
me ask you, when did this story initially happen? When he came out?
The first time I saw it was...
It had to be 2013.
Yeah.
It's about 10 years old.
Yeah,
it's 10 years old.
Yeah,
it's
so
about
it's very possible I've seen it, but I obviously just didn't know who he was or even cared at the time. But I look at...
You guys are haters.
Who's hating?
Al is hating. He said Mark Hamill fucking sucks.
He's only saying
you
that...
He's not a Star Wars. He's not a Star Wars.
He's not a Star Wars guy.
Whatever.
Where's my fucking horn?
Bullet. That one's for you, Al.
Oh, that's not the one. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. That's for you, Al.
Yeah, hopefully you hear it all the way to Canada. Anyway.
Damn.
So, but I think I just thought it was cool. Like me, again, going in blind, it's like, hey, you got a guy who's a pretty famous comic who does a podcast, and you have Luke Skywalker. Like,
Okay, you know what? You know what? You deserve another one.
Oh, he said another one?
This motherfucker says Star Wars sucks and Star Trek, or whatever you call it.
It's Trek, you motherfucker.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Because it's American shit.
You know what? There's nothing like being a real American.
These motherfucking
Y'all-
Canadians don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that shit.
And there's nothing more American than talking about Luke Skywalker on Memorial Day weekend.
And shit, half of these movies are probably fucking recorded in Canada. God damn it!
Man.
What's crazy? They probably
Near your
are.
house.
Yeah, actually, probably is.
Yeah.
Most of the films are
I was
like
gonna get a
Vancouver.
cameo. It's like I know that motherfucker. No, but I just thought it was really cool for Mark Hamill to be a part of what I would think to be a kind of a small project. Do you know what I mean? And he had his hands up. Oh, Dad, put your hands down. He had some really cool. They made a little Batman reference in there because he is
Batman,
the clown prince of crime.
That's true.
And
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about what he said. He said, "Stop saying Memorial Day weekend." Basically.
no, because
Okay,
we'll get to
don't
it.
say it again.
Nah, I'm gonna do it
Because he is right. You have said it like 15 times.
He's only mad because I'm not playing Apex right now. But we'll get
That's
to that.
not
soon.
why he's mad.
Yeah,
He's
well,
mad because you said fucking Memorial Day weekend
Because
15 times.
Memorial Day weekend rank grind.
Oh, my God.
So anyway,
It is kind of annoying. Actually, you know what? You've heard it 15 times. I've heard it fucking 30 more all day. So
yeah, he's got to ride around in the car with me, so it's like 10 times worth. And I have no AC, and it's kind of like relatively hot outside.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I need a new condenser. My shit's leaking.
Damn.
So it's all right. I'll fix it. I work at a car shop, so I'll get it fixed. No, but I thought it was really cool for him to just be a part of that film, not even as just like a special feature appearance. I mean, he was in the whole movie.
Nice.
So I thought that was just really cool. And his voice, he was like pre-Joker. He wasn't doing the whole Joker voice, but you could hear it in it. You know what I mean? And he plays Burt Kreischer's dad.
That's his normal voice, though.
Dude,
It's fucking cool, though.
Yeah.
I was waiting for, when he brought the Batman thing up, I was just waiting for like some line or just something, not to a degree.
Maybe that's, oh, yeah, he did say that. Maybe that's why he brought it up, but I don't know.
But I just thought, I just think that's really cool for Mark Hamill to do. And
I thought it was a good movie. It was a good action movie, too, because that chick, man, she was badass.
She was pretty hot, too. I'm not going to lie.
She was hot.
Yeah, she was.
Well, I think that chick's Serbian.
Yeah.
They didn't film for obvious reasons. They didn't film it in Russia. They filmed it in Serbia.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same.
Kind of the same thing. That whole area is. But you
But,
know what? You know what I think would be better for that movie? I think they should have split it in two parts. I think they should have done the original Machine movie.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're hoping it does well enough where it can get
to the original story.
Well, no, because the original story.
It's kind of ingrained into
covered.
it.
Yeah, it's ingrained into the movie.
There's like flashbacks and things of that
Gotcha.
nature.
See, I'd rather, for me, because I know they do the Younger Bird and all that stuff, I'd rather see two separate movies.
Well, the thing,
and pull that into it. Yeah.
The thing is, I'm
gonna need a refill, sir.
I don't think it would have worked
You first, sir.
as well because the story was already viral, and everybody already knows the story. So the background is already there. If you've already heard the story, aside from this one lone fucking ranger over here, if you've already heard the story, then you know what it is.
Yeah.
But they reiterated enough where even if you never saw the story, you know exactly what was happening. And because basically when he was 22 years old, I went to Russia and I was involved with the Russian mafia. That's how the shit starts, like all the time.
That's good.
And then then it goes into. Then they talk about how they robbed the train and
they probably do the highlight of those clips.
It goes, not even the clips. They go into all that, like they basically reenact the story.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's in there. So like, it's in there. But he's saying he wants to do a sequel if it does well enough.
I don't think it's worth a sequel. I haven't seen it yet.
You have to see it. I don't know how they would do it, but I think it would be a good.
You know, they may ride along too, so anything's possible.
Well. Yeah, exactly. Well,
I also made Dude, Where's My Car? I gotta hate that movie.
If you fucking hate on that movie one more time, I swear to God.
Holy shit, you hate on Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah, dog. He thinks it's stupid.
I think it's
bro. You never had a shit face night and never like, yo, man, where's my car? And you don't know where the fucking car is.
I get it now as I'm older, but I think what it was at the time, and I've said it before on the show, is that when the movie initially came out, I'm getting into my early teenage years, My dad always let me watch whatever it was to begin with. He never really hid me from anything. Obviously, when I was like a kid, it's like, if you see a boob on screen, it's like, hey, close your eyes, that kind of thing. And then, you got your hand up like this.
Look, my mom used to hit me with put her hand in front of my face so I couldn't.
It's crazy. My mom does it. That must be a mom thing because my dad never did that. My dad just said close your eyes. He never put his hand over my face.
My dad just say look titties. That's it.
No, I think my dad wanted to say that, but my mom was around, so I don't think he wanted to be like a horrible influence on me.
Amen.
But I'm not like predisposed. Like I didn't grow up sheltered when it comes to films or violence or anything. My dad always taught me as a kid, even when I was playing like violent games. He was like, hey man, It's just a game. It's just a movie. It's not real life. This is entertainment. He taught me that at a young age, and I've always valued that because I do remember fondly. And this is probably in terms of elementary school. I remember a friend of mine. I won't use his name. Comes from a military family.
There's the first.
And he Yes, that shut up,
Keep
Jared.
going. Keep going.
And, you know, his mom and dad were always awesome. Got along with my mom and dad. You know, I've been over to his house a couple times, you know, for sleepovers, all that other stuff. But his parents sheltered him very much. And
you had one of those friends that was sheltered.
Yeah,
you were
like,
the one that.
yeah, so I was always talking about going to see Face Off or Con Air or whatever, the next John Woo flick or whatever. And he wasn't even allowed to watch, like, Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? And I remember one time we were in class, and this is when we were in the 6th grade. I mean, granted, we're 11, 12 years old, whatever the case may be. Something happened. He ended up started crying, and the teacher took him out to the hallway to talk to him.
I'm going to hell. This is against my religion.
And it was over, like, something very silly. Like, that most people would be like, huh? But his parents had raised him in such a manner that he felt... And God, I can't remember what it was, but he just thought it was inappropriate, or he thought he was going to get in trouble. And then he started just like spouting out. He was like venting pretty much. He's like, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't even watch fucking Dragon Ball Z." And as you walk down into my basement, if you look at my little shelf right there, I have pretty much half of the VHS collection.
Yeah.
That I've had since I was a kid. And I even thought to myself, then I was like, "Yo, it's not even a really violent show. I mean, it's for fighting." I mean, even if you buy the uncut version of it, there's just a little bit of blood. Might see like an anime dick sometime or whatever the fuck it is.
You're going to wait 10 episodes for a fight anyway, so it's like...
and any real Dragon Ball Z fan will understand that. But it's just like, you know, some people are just very... You don't know how sheltered they are, and you don't know what their mind goes through or anything like that. So for me, when I go to a film or anything like nothing really... surprises me anymore, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, seen it. Oh, this is reference to such film that I saw long ago. There's no like real original idea anymore. No. You know what I mean? So what I thought this film did well.
There are. It might not just get picked up. Like
no, and you're right, Jared. Like original ideas, since they're not like the norm, they're not like mainstream. They get brushed under the rug. There's probably a lot of great TV shows, obviously, and I know Jared will give me shit that I have not watched that he's seen. It's like, yo,
Jesus Christ,
this is a dope show.
Okay,
what show?
Yeah, what show? What are you talking
about? I'll give you a good one. You were talking about Star Trek. I've only watched like 2 episodes of Picard. Okay.
Actually, I only watched the whole first season. It was a slow build. It was a slow burner.
You talking about the new series?
Yeah,
new series. Yeah.
Oh,
when they get everybody back by the 3rd season.
To be honest, the first 2 seasons are kind of trash.
The 3rd one where it picks up with everybody back on board.
The 3rd one, see, they fucked it. All right, you know what? 2nd season was okay.
Mm-hmm.
1st season was okay. They totally did a whole different thing in the 3rd season. So this is like each season is different.
Of course.
It's kind of like they went a different route. So the old shows, there was a different situation every show.
Okay.
So no show. I mean, they might have some stuff that connected from a show like a couple of episodes ago, but it wasn't like crazy shit. Mm-hmm. But this time, what they did was each season was basically one long show, and there was different shit going on in each season. Mm-hmm. So none of them really connect except for the characters, because the characters are from other seasons.
Of course, I see what you're saying.
The 3rd season is fire, but I grew up watching
the old school shit.
I'm a Star Trek Next Generation head. TNG, through the whole crew, everybody. I watch shit. Actually, I was watching some shit last night on. But I'm a Star Trek head anyway. Mm-hmm. I was watching a thing on YouTube. It was like top 10 or 10 like Star Trek character quirks. Mm-hmm. So it was like how these characters got certain reasons or why they did certain things, and it's usually because the actual actor had something about them where it just made it into the show, and they just kept going with it. So they were like, "Oh, fuck it."
I like little things like that, though.
Yeah,
like little film, like knowledge kind of thing.
But but you ain't watched the shit that I tell you about.
Then I got a question though. Then is the Captain Kirk in the movies, the new movies, is Captain Kirk always been a bitch? Because that's the only reason why I hated the new shit.
Wait. What do you mean?
You know the actor that played Captain Kirk, right? In the new movies that came out like 2013.
He's talking about
you're talking about
Darkness.
You're talking about Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine. There we go.
Yeah.
In every movie, he gets his ass beat. In every movie, he gets into a fight.
He gets into a fight, but then he wins.
He doesn't win all the time. All right, the first one, right? The first one was with like every time he went up against somebody, he'll get his ass beat. But at the end of the movie,
let me ask you something: are you asking as a martial artist, or are you asking as like just a
Star Trek person in general?
Okay.
He eventually wins at the end, but he always seems like he gets his ass handed
it's
to him.
the antagonist. He's also a human going against like if he's going against Spock.
Spock is going with his ass.
Vulcans have strength, and
knowledge.
They suppress their emotions and they have knowledge, but they're like 2 times the strength of a human. Mm-hmm. So, of course, if fucking Kirk, a regular Earth being, fucking tries to fight this motherfucker, he's gonna get his ass beat.
All right, so that one's a pass. Second movie,
Klingon too. You ain't fucking with no Klingon.
Yeah,
either.
Klingons are pretty badass people, dude.
Second
movie,
say
people.
With what's his name, Cumberbatch. I mean, that was genetically mutated. Though. I give you
again,
that.
Same thing.
I give you that.
It's the same exact thing.
What about the third guy? Idris Elba.
Is that the one? Enter the Darkness.
I think that's the third one. Yeah,
I didn't like that one. That one was kind of a little cheesy for me.
I thought
it was like
better. I thought that was better than the second one.
It felt like a musical in a way, just because they had all these costumes. Like everybody was painted. It was cool. It was okay. I don't remember Idris Elba being in there though.
Idris Elba is the main bad guy, but he was transformed into an alien, and he was a former Star Trek person, and he found a way to still have life because people used to crash land on that planet all the time. And then as soon as he went back to like that new
pull it up,
station.
It's just not. If I pull it up, what's that gonna do?
Well, just to make sure that one, I believe will, but
I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
I believe will. I'm just saying, like for the viewers, for the listeners.
I'll pull it up. Like they can do Star Trek, whatever.
Into the Darkness was. I thought that was the second movie name. If I'm
that might be the third one.
I think that's the third one.
Yeah, no, I think that is the third one.
But Idris was the main bad guy. He was an alien, and then
the first one was the best one.
First one's the best one, hands down. I give you that. But I think
that was
third one.
J.J. Abrams, by the way.
I think the third one was better than the second one.
So to your point, with your talking about him getting his ass kicked, and Jared saying eventually he wins.
Yeah,
I think that's
a part of the story.
Yeah, I think that's any good guy versus bad guy narrative.
But the way he wins is not like. It's not decisive. It's like he finds a sneak way to like beat the system.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I think I understand your question. Hold on. Let me try to find this real quick. Okay.
I'm not talking about like.
No, I see. Like, but I wouldn't call him a bitch.
All right.
Oh, you're the captain of the Starship Enterprise. You're a bitch. You know?
I think because even in the original series, there was times where shit would happen, and even in TNG, Picard would always have to figure out some shit. He would get his ass whipped and have to figure some shit out. But that's what the show is. It's like,
okay,
it's like, all right, we have a problem. How do we fix this problem? This problem is beating our ass. And as humans, how do we overcome this problem?
Gotcha.
And I think what's happened throughout the years. Oh, here's Into the Darkness. Hold on, real quick. I think what's happened throughout the years, and
that's the second one.
I thought that was the first one. I mean, the third one.
The third one is do Star Trek Idris Elba. You'll find it.
So In the Darkness was 2013.
See, this is where my glasses might come off because I can't see.
Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek Beyond.
2016.
And I can't get to the chat yet because you're writing long messages right now. So
very long
RJ
message.
should be looking at that, but whatever.
I can if you need me to.
It's not Beyond.
Should have been already.
No, yeah, it is because that's the guy. Because they lost that guy, the fourth guy. He died in a car accident.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
So hear me out.
Can't remember his name now. God damn it.
It's right on the screen.
He's the.
No, I'm trying to remember his the name of the guy. Chekhov.
Chekhov, yeah.
So
I love Chekhov.
So believe it or not,
he's a good character in all the Star Trek.
So I work. Spoiler alert. I work for a Jeep dealership, right?
How the fuck is that a spoiler alert?
Regardless. So this gentleman
Regardless.
This gentleman died because his car ran over him, right?
His own car.
His own vehicle.
It was a Jeep.
It was a Jeep.
Jesus.
And one of the features that they implemented in the newer vehicles was due to this.
Is how to not have your car run over you.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
okay.
unfortunately, this gentleman's death is a new functionality. So basically, if you have your door open, even the slightest, if you if you don't close it all the way, your car will not go into drive. It will not accelerate. It won't do anything because it knows the door is open. And apparently, I don't know the entire story, but he had basically gotten out of his car and it just rolled back and unfortunately crushed him.
He was a good Chekhov too, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, man. He was really good. I think he was my main interest in trying and understanding his story and his growth from there. He was really I don't know if they even do another one, but they can't replace that guy. That guy.
I don't know what. There's a lot of stuff like that, but yeah, Chekhov has always been a good character, even in the original series. TNG, there was a whole different crew because that was in the future compared to the original series.
Yeah, I'm not deep in Trek history.
Oh, that's what I wanted to get into. The creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, he was around when Next Generation was created. So what the basis of Star Trek is, which is humans have figured out, all right, we don't need money.
Time travel, or not time travel, but planet.
Not even that. Well, yeah, aside from that, but humans have figured out how to coexist as one on Earth. That's where the Federation comes from, or not the Federation. I guess that's the Federation. But they figured out how to coincide on Earth. There's no money. There's no poverty. It's basically a futuristic utopia, and now we're at the point where we have the technology to explore other places. So that, I think, newer generations of people who are getting into the series, they don't get fed that part of why he created the series.
Gotcha.
Because there was even some series, it got so violent. I'm trying to think. I think it was Enterprise, which was a good one. That's Scott Bakula was the captain, Captain Archer. That was getting too violent for what it was. What Star Trek is supposed to be. It's supposed to be about us exploring outside of just Earth, since we've already figured out what we should be as humans on Earth.
Was Enterprise in the 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember because it was the same time frame when WWE came on. I remember Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah. Dude, what, on USA?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it came on right after Raw, and it was simpler times.
Oh my God.
Definitely simpler times. And
Enterprise they had some hot chicks on Enterprise.
I mean, hey man, who doesn't like a hot space chick?
Man,
I mean,
Star
honestly.
Trek had the women though. I ain't gonna.
Oh
hold
yeah,
you on
the
that.
Next Generation, fucking Deanna Troi, the Dr. Crusher.
Dr. Crusher.
Actually,
that's your name now, Dr. Crusher.
That is not my name,
I am now going to refer to Jared, folks, as Dr.
bro.
Crusher.
I will.
Hey, you get up out this chair.
Yeah, I will get up out this chair.
Well, do it in the car. Jesus, like most.
I can't get up out the chair in the car.
Nah.
Well, there's a chair in the car.
Speaking of getting out of the chair, can we talk about? Oh no, should I talk about that?
Here.
Well,
Yeah,
what happened?
You know, Jared, before you tell this story, because I want you to tell this story, I want everybody to know out here that Jared, my good friend, Jared Lee Comedy,
What is he about to say?
does a great job hosting an event every other Tuesday
And every other Thursday.
and every other Thursday down at a local watering hole
What is it
for
this week,
upstanding comedians. For people who want to venture out, they say, hey, I'm funny. I want to give it a go.
Not
And-
even about it being funny. It's like, I want to try stand-up comedy. Can you give me some time?
And guys, I've been part of it too. It's a great experience, great way to kind of break in the writing creativity, how to line up your jokes, hot crowd every night, cold brews every night. So it's a fun time. It's definitely a fun time. I've been venturing back out there. It's glad to see some of the guys have new stories to tell because I've been away for so long
Yeah.
at the stand up, but
Well,
it's great.
we've kind of been, mostly me and Bobby B. Like, you know,
Bobby.
Bobby B is I call him my assistant producer, basically.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with that.
But like we're trying to kind of form it into, and again, we've done like actual shows.
Yep.
Yeah, there were open mics, but they never bringer shows, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's still a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
And so we try to tailor the show to be comic friendly and so people can learn if they're new, and people can work shit out if they're not new. And I think for the most part, the crowd, no matter if they have been there to watch comedy or they're not there to watch comedy, but they just happen to be there when we're doing the show, has been receptive. It takes a lot. But that's part of the workout, I think, is getting people
hopefully this is going to where I think it's going.
It's going there.
That's why I got to put my sunglasses back on.
It's hopefully to get the workout regardless. Like, part of being a comic is making people laugh. Well, not part of it, but that is the thing. But sometimes you're going to be where people aren't going to want to be receptive to what you're bringing. And it's part of the workout. And I kind of equate it back to jiu-jitsu. We're drilling. When we do these shows, this is drill time. You know what I'm saying? We're doing our fucking set, and we're getting drill time in. So a lot of times, you're going to have people there who don't want to hear shit. Or they're there for, I don't know.
Other reasons.
Yeah, karaoke maybe.
You know,
let's just use that one.
You know, it's just karaoke. Karaoke with a couple females.
Yeah. So then people will come in and I don't know. So anyway, my whole point to get to this is we had an incident this past Tuesday. And I won't even call it an incident. I will call it the process.
Right, there you go. We like the tea on this show.
It's hot.
I will call it just part of the process of me learning how to be a better professional comedian. I don't know if I consider myself a professional yet. I don't know what it will take for me to call myself a professional. Maybe like a consistently paid job, maybe, or whatever. But anyway, so this past week we had a few guys go up. And this was a day where karaoke's right after, so the karaoke people will start coming in toward the end. And we had one comic up, and I'm trying to get him to come on, Hamza Abira.
You've been called out by name, which Jared does not do on this show.
No, he knows, because I've already asked him. He said he's down. He just has to have time or whatever.
Excuse me.
But anyway, he was up, and he was working stuff out like we all do. We go up there, you
fire, you miss, bro.
Yeah, I say some shit. I have some shit that I write down, and I'm thinking, in my head, as I'm writing it down, I'm like, this shit's fire. And yeah, part of it is me, I'm going up first, because I got to warm up the crowd. I'm thinking my new shit's going to work. It ain't going to work, because half of these motherfuckers either comics or they ain't paying attention. But I got to still get these motherfuckers to wake up for the next person. So, last guy's up. And he's doing his thing. He's working his shit out. And one person who actually interrupted me in front of while another comic was going, and it was pretty loud because I'm sitting there watching, and then he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey man, I'm so and so. You probably don't know me, but I just want to introduce myself." I'm like, okay. I'll get back to you after this. Oh, I just want to see if I could get some time. Well, what? Okay.
While you on the mic?
No. While I'm sitting watching somebody else,
okay,
but it was loud enough where it's like, yo, you're
interrupting
somebody else.
Okay. I'm tracking.
So he was like, "Oh, I want to get some time." I was like, "All right, you'll be after this person." And they were like, okay. So this person goes, and then I call that person up. And I guess this first person felt kind of entitled because they kind of gave me an ad lib on some joke that I was doing. And it was like, yeah, blah, 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 this, that thing. And it was funny. but it was like one fucking word, bro. So then he goes up and he does, like, he had written some shit in like 15 minutes on his phone and goes up and reads it off his phone just off of that one word that he used that was for my joke originally. So I'm like, all right, cool, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, when I go back up to get the next person, I'm trying to loosen everybody up, and I'm like, all right, boom. Next time, don't bring your dissertation up here. Because he was basically
you crack on everybody.
Yeah,
you gotta crack on everybody.
Yeah.
It happens.
And it was because he was literally reading off the fucking phone,
bro. A rookie gets burned every day, bro. Come on.
But that's what I'm saying. If you want to do stand up, you gotta like. And I don't know, man. I'm just gonna be me regardless.
And he took it the wrong way.
I don't know if he took it the wrong way. My point is to say all that. My point is that like he interrupted me. I gave him the time, and then as this last comic is up, he and this other guy start talking shit like right behind my they're right here, and I'm sitting right there, and they're talking shit about the guy that's on stage.
Oh no!
And I'm starting to get aggravated. I'm like, oh, that's just not even funny. Blah blah blah. And I'm in my head. So then they get loud, and one dude said, "Oh, that shit ain't funny," or whatever the fuck he said, and then. The guy on stage goes back at the guy because he was the one talking. The guy that came and interrupted me, he goes back at him and says whatever to him. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But that's part of the workout. Heckler, you got to fucking heckle. You got to fucking hit him back.
Figure out how to fucking do it.
So we let him go. But then they keep going. And dude, the other guy that he's with is still talking shit. So I get back up there. I'm already pissed because I can hear them behind my head. And I'm like, bro, why don't you just let this man fucking... So I'm pissed. So I get up there. I fucking crack into this dude. He's like, well, the shit's not funny. I'm like, motherfucker, you get your ass up here then. This is a fucking open mic. We doing this shit for free. They're like, we just doing this so we can get better. If you think you can do better and you think you're funny, get your ass up here. Didn't fucking move. And then I said something. I was like, yeah, then shut the fuck up. This motherfucker stands up out of his chair. And I take the mic stand. I'm like, oh, you getting up? Come on then, man.
Phil Foggy Lee.
It was like, let's go. I was like, yeah, that's what
Cena style.
So then I went.
You
I was
wouldn't
like,
be able to see him.
Yeah.
So I'm going off. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. Sit your fucking ass down, you old fucking man. Eat a dick.
Eat a dick, you old fart.
And then.
I love a good heckler.
And then I saw and I was trying to be funny with the shit, but like
you just went straight.
Yeah, I was just triggered. And then and I could see as I'm going, I'm looking around at the crowd of people who are like not there for comedy, and they're just staring at me. They didn't have like there was no expression nobody was laughing, but nobody was upset about what happened.
No.
And then after. One of the bartenders or the bartender that was there, he was like, yeah, he came up to me. He was like, did you hear what he said to me? And then he was like, well, nobody interrupts you when you're doing karaoke. And the dude just sat down and he didn't say shit.
And shout out to that bartender. You're an awesome guy.
Bartender.
That was a long-winded story.
No.
We like long-winded stories.
I like a good heckler because a heckler gets you the chopping chops, like I'm like a playground kind of thing. Like, all right,
yeah,
we about to go in a roasting session. Like, to me, as soon as I hear karaoke, I'm like, no one want to hear your Michael Jackson impressions, brother. No one want to hear all that shit.
Mine's pretty good.
But that's why again, I was trying to make the shit funnier, but. I mean, I just went.
Bobby, you went straight. Went straight.
Yeah, Bobby B said he thought it was funny. Like you can ask him when you see him.
I got him.
But I was just like, I was trying to be funny at the same time. I'm just like, bro, you're not gonna sit up here and talk shit and then try to talk shit and then fucking stand up on me. Now we got a problem. You either coming up here to swing on me. Or you gonna sit your ass the fuck down.
Please tell me you told him, like, you must not know who I am. You should have led with that because we do we should have done the jiu-jitsu joke all the time. You should say, you must not know.
Yeah, but I try to that's the other thing. I try not to
blast that
to lean lean on that.
You had to flex a little bit.
I mean, flexing is fine, but
I think I may have said that, like, but
in the spew of the night. And all
yeah,
that,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
nah.
dog. Like first of all, and then the comic who he did it to, he was like he was saying, he was like, man, this is your mic. I didn't know how far I could go. I was like, bruh, if you getting heckled, you do what you got to do. I mean, don't swing on the motherfucker, but fucking handle that shit, dog. That like I don't got no problem with that shit. Like these motherfuckers want to be disrespectful. Fuck them. They gonna know what it means to fucking come up here and fucking talk shit. That's like I'm curious to see next time we do a Tuesday one, like if that dude shows up.
I really want
on time.
So next week is Thursday.
Yeah, this coming week is Thursday, which
Gotcha.
I think is the first.
June 1st.
I might need to stop by karaoke now.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
might need to
That'll be
see
the
this.
Tuesday right after.
I might need to see that.
I'll point him out to you.
Please let me point him out.
That
'cause
motherfucker right there. You know.
I heard about a motherfucker like this.
Yeah. No, but kudos to you, Jared, for
Keeping your cool, bro.
keeping your cool.
Yeah,
because I know that.
And I know I asked the question weird on fucking Facebook. Everybody was like, "Well, what happened? Did somebody step to you?" I'm like, and then I had somebody from high school who fucking I don't ever talk to because I asked the question. She was like, "I hope you handle it with humor." I was like, "Look,
no,
you're
bitch,
another
I gave
one.
you the D.
I should fucking go into your ass too, but I'm gonna leave it alone."
Look, man, I think everyone has that point. Everyone got that point. Like, you either can heckle this guy throughout or you're going to be serious. And I've seen comics do both, and especially local cribs, and especially at your home.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to feel more entitled to be like, hey, look, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And instead of you going to be at one of our local friends, Latif's joint, you're going to be like, you're going to try to heckle him more than being more of a, not even a dick, but standing your ground in a certain standpoint.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that, man. Like, I remember when you remember the women in the ugly mug that we used to get heckled by? And we you don't remember that situation? It was like,
That's the place I came to for your.
Oh, was that
right?
the? Yeah. You like the first couple times, like the first time we went, right?
the first or second time. 'Cause I remember
Oh yeah, because they were in the front and like the middle.
Miller Road, they were in the front. And I remember there were a couple blondes and something like that. They kept on going back and forth, and I got into a relationship like that. And I think I said something on terms of like, look, I know you ain't no Reese Witherspoon, but you might be legally blonde or some shit.
Yeah.
And it kind of flowed because she was a brunette. So I was like saying some other shit. But like that comes with this process.
Yeah.
So I don't think you did nothing wrong. I think you did everything the right way. If he stepped in your square in that zone, anything's legal at that point.
Yeah.
But I think like you handle it with humor, you handle it with a little bit more tenderness. It's just like it has to happen like that.
Yeah. I don't think I had to kind of do some self-reflection. I don't think I handled it inappropriately because I was telling him I watched some like comedians versus hecklers like YouTube joints and some of the like top guy. Oh, that rant that fucking Bill Burr did to Philadelphia.
Oh my God.
He was like, I got 11 minutes left, and I'm already getting paid for this. He goes off on Philadelphia. He was like, I hope you get cancer and blah, blah, blah. He was like, 8 minutes left, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
Like, but I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad for going off on this guy.
No, you got to find the one thing about working off the dome is you got to find the key points.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you said was karaoke. Oh, this motherfucker's for karaoke? All right, we're going to make some jokes about some karaoke.
Yeah.
Like, you got to find those key points to kind of work within the joke and still be pissed off.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember when David that did that, he runs the Galactic Panther joint. When he gets a heckler, I see him just like go in on the person just from outfits to hairstyle and stuff like that.
I've seen it too.
So you gotta work on that creativity. Be like, all right, if you know what this person does, you can kind of use that against them a little bit.
I'm trying to get Dave on here too.
Dave need to come on here, bro, because
Yeah,
his
I know.
TikToks be killing me.
What up, Dave?
Dave,
Come on,
Oh,
Show.
David. He goes by David Balagizi.
David Balagizi.
Oh,
Another-
I even like him more.
Another very,
Balagizi.
he's
on
he's
some real
African,
stuff.
so
Hey,
it's-
man.
I always
don't
call him the most Italian African I've ever met.
Oh, Balagizi is a variant. I mean, I felt like telling this motherfucker, you got the cinder block? Like, sleep with the fishes.
Nah,
you
but
know.
shout out to him, man. Hey, condolences to your family. I know what's going on the last month. I'm glad you back doing your stuff, man. But condolences.
He did open mic at the Improv a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but I know he posted something about his pops a while back.
Yeah, that was a while.
Yeah, so I haven't got a chance to hear out to
He
him.
did our show like kind of that next week right after.
I mean, you gotta get back on the horse.
yeah,
Sometime.
and I even told him, I was like, I knew either you weren't gonna be here or you were gonna be here, and I was leaning more toward that he was gonna be. Haven't seen him in a few weeks.
No,
But,
you got to do it because I remember when my pops passed. Like I think 2 days after.
I was trying to get you back out.
Yeah, you were blowing my phone up, and thank you for that. 2 days after I went to jiu-jitsu, and I didn't do stand-up for like I think a month.
Yeah.
And I did stand-up, didn't feel right, and then I did stand-up for another month, and then it's been sporadic. But it's just like
No, it'll get back.
It's one of those things where you find you got to find joy.
Yeah.
You have to find your joy. So it don't regard if you do stand-up or whatever. Find the joy that you feel like it'll help you in that moment. And at that moment, it was like, I can't ace this right now.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu was like, hey, I ain't going to be thinking for a little bit. So that's cool with me.
Yeah. For me, I think the more I'm glad I started doing the shows once a week. Like it's still spread out. I need to do more shit. Because there's still times where it's like, fuck, man, I get that anxiety of like, I gotta get on stage, because I'm still have in my mind that if I bomb, this is the end of the world. But I need to get that out of my head, because if I bomb, it's not the end of the world. I can do another set. That set might kill. My timing might just be off that day. I might not be feeling. But to get to that next level, I need to be able to fucking put that shit on no matter how I'm feeling. I got to be like Jordan.
You got to be automatic.
I got to be Jordan shooting fucking free
Game
throws with the
six.
fucking three-pointers with fucking flu and shit, that type shit. So I'm still trying to work to that level.
I haven't had that on the regular. Like I had an MJ moment every once in a blue moon.
I don't have MJ moments.
Well,
I've had shows that I killed, but it's not an MJ moment. Everything was just working.
That's too high of a status. That's too high of a status. Let's say a regular NBA player, you had a really great night.
Yeah. Instead of getting 8 points, you got 18.
You got 18. You know, you did just enough for the dub. You know, and
big dubs, baby.
Big dubs.
Big dubs.
Big dubs. But that's what the girls call me back in the day.
I'm mad
They used to call me Jay Shep because
Oh,
people
yeah.
flock around me
Because
like
W.
Jesus.
See, he
Yeah.
took it off.
I'm mad we got fucking one viewer right now because we're talking about stand up, but fuck them. That's what we do, bitch.
Stand up is one of those things where I had one MJ moment. I think I had one at the Ugly Mug.
Ugly Mug days were fun.
Oh, before the bullshit happened?
Which bullshit? Oh yeah.
the
Look, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
Thank you. You're like, all right. I had sweet gig at Ugly Mug, all right, and there's no fault to Jared at all. But I respect the apology.
No, I apologize for that.
But
I was a little inebriated.
Jared
He had one of comedy Lee Smoke.
No, you tell the story. Let him tell the story.
So Jared, he was pushing like, yo, man, like, because he was a rook in the business, and just like I was a rook in the business, but I was like, I gotta eat my bone. Like everyone, all my vets. When I went to Ugly Mug, I had certain people that I talked to, that I still talk to this day, that gave me pointers like, hey, man, you got to eat crow before you eat lobster.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. I got to deal with that. But I'm not going to get lobster. For us in jiu-jitsu, it's 2 years you get your blue belt, right?
Depends on who you are.
It depends on who you are.
Took me 4 years.
All right. Depends on who you are. But you came through a different school. That's a
you're
whole
right.
different.
Yeah.
That's a whole different point. But that, in my point and sense of that is, when you have to eat crow to eat lobster, it's like for a jiu-jitsu person, you had 2 years to get your blue belt. You get some recognition, right? And for comedy, you're like, your only recognition is your next show, and if you get paid for that show. That's recognition for you. That's the beginner stage. And then you get this TikTok, YouTube, all this other stuff, all right? What Jared wanted was the money phase. But you only did comedy for like 3 months.
Yeah,
Let's just say roughly 3 months-ish.
But it wasn't that I wanted the money. It's like maybe I didn't understand what was happening, and I think now I kind of understand more.
Especially running a show.
Yeah, and I think because of the bringer thing, I was getting upset because I was bringing
People.
multiple people for shows, but then the next show, like I'm still getting asked. I'm like, bro, what about these motherfuckers who brought one person, but I brought 8 people
Yeah,
that time.
yeah.
And now you want me to still fucking bring a whole bunch of people?
I don't like bringers. I think he's the last person.
A lot of people don't like bringers.
A lot of comics don't like bringers because here's the thing with bringers for me.
And when it's sorry to cut you off. When you say bringers, you mean obviously bringing somebody that you know to your show.
Yeah,
like
make
a
sure-
friend.
But and the way it works, depending on who it is,
Okay.
you bring somebody,
All right.
and they pay for tickets.
Yeah.
For you to get on the show, you have to bring these people, and they have
Certain
to
amount of
buy
people,
tickets.
I see. Okay, I got you.
If not, you have to pay for those tickets, and they give the tickets out to somebody else.
Ooh, yeah, I can see how that's a hard knee scrape.
No, it's not even a knee. It's like I would call it a knee scrape. But the thing what it was that I think Jerry was on there for like 3 weeks straight. I was on there for about 3 weeks straight. I'm like, yo,
No,
man,
we were working.
we were working the show, and what the problem was is that when you work in the show and there's a ringleader, there's a guy above that, hey, what we doing? What crumbled in the beginning for us was the one day he didn't set out the lineup, he didn't set out anything at all.
Yeah.
And
Fucking-
we
had
ran the whole show.
We set the fucking show up. We set the stage up. Like we
The
made sure the
lineup.
mics were working. And like,
No,
bro,
that was every show.
well, I never did it.
The
until then.
mic stuff. By the time I got there early enough, every show it was 1 or 2 people, the same people.
Okay.
We were always.
Well,
set
we
up the
we still ran that fucking show, aside for the host who was already there.
mic. Yeah, whoever was designated host for that evening.
So it was like, bro, like we're doing. I don't want to say we're doing all the work, but it's like we're new and we're looking to a higher person to guide us through this situation. I guess maybe that's am I saying that right?
No. You're completely right in that.
I mean, I would think if you're doing somebody else's job and you don't, you know what you have to do, but you don't know like the very small
I'm there-
details.
I'm
the
there-
guy never fucking showed up.
Yeah.
He would run the
I
shit
never
from New
met
York.
him in person.
Never met him in person either. He would run the show from New York. He would say, hey, I'm coming down. He would never come down. He would always like double book and do another show in New York. Granted the fact he lives in New York and Brooklyn, I think. And I'm like, New York got hubs everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck you gotta go to DC? Even though the Ugly Mug is on Southeast DC and was on a busy block. Like, it's not that hard. Like, those rooms would be packed.
Yeah.
So when we didn't see that, I was like, yo, man, like, what the fuck we getting out of this? Like, if you're gonna be running a show, I'm getting more advice from people that are on the show than what you are here doing. So what the fuck are we doing here? And then as soon as like Jerry pointed that out, we got iced from that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
I got
that's,
iced because he was my friend.
Well, and
Well, I don't even think he runs that anymore.
No,
Not that particular way. He does a different spot now.
well, that might be good because
Someone else runs it now.
when you
It's
have
a whole different thing though. It's a different show.
I think when you have somebody like that who kind of runs things from afar, they have obviously, I would like to think the right idea in their head how things should be, but at the same time, it's like, look, dude, you're 400 miles away. You're not here currently.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, set it up this way. It's like, well, yeah, I'm setting it up, but the curtain fell. Like, it's a small situational things. Again, it's not about the job as a whole. It's about the little details that help. Yeah, it's like a puzzle, pretty much.
And when we talked to vets and the people that we talked to, I remember they were like, yeah, everyone said we hate bringers. And they hate promoters that have bringers.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, that's why that's why I wasn't looking for apology. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. This is the closest I got to
I just
DC.
felt like I stepped out of looking
nah.
back on it, I think maybe I stepped out of my circle a little bit. But I the way I asked it, I asked it a little forceful, but it was more that I asked it as like, what's the process, bro? That's more of what the question was.
Good.
It was more of what's the process, less than like, yo, I want to get paid on this show, dog.
Yeah, but the way you asked, he would understand it better if he heard your tone.
True. Yeah, I agree.
I think
agree.
because I think the way you ask, I'm like, oh, Jared's just asking a question, but I was like, he don't know how Jared talk.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I was like, it is what it is.
Well, there's a lot of things when you say in terms of like he doesn't know how you speak or doesn't know you're
that's
like.
my point. But he never met us.
He never met us.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what my point is that if say it was through text message, right?
it was mostly through Facebook Messenger. Same thing.
So through messaging, the one thing I've learned if with anybody, whether it's a man, woman, whomever, whatever type of relationship you have with anybody, is that when you text somebody, when it is received by the recipient, they're going to read it in their own mind. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
he's from New York.
You don't, and we know a couple New Yorkers ourselves.
And you're right. He probably 100% read it like, oh, this motherfucker.
Fuck him.
Like, yeah, like.
So put it this way: Jared could have gone up in person and said, "Hey, man, I don't think this is fair."
No. That's not how I was going across. It was more.
Well, I was just making an example.
Yeah, but I don't want it to get twisted. Depending on if anybody watches this, it was more.
It's been over a year.
Yeah, but I don't know what comics still fuck with him.
Actually, I don't think anybody fuck with him.
We've heard some stories. I've definitely heard it. You might not have been there.
No, we talk after this.
Yeah. But either way, it did teach me. Like, if I want to make it, first I got to make sure my shit. Well, I learned this from listening to Joe Rogan and Tom Segura type shit. You got to be undeniable, and I try to fucking write and try to make my shit. I don't want to have the same shit, all the same shit that I was doing at the Ugly Mug that I'm doing now. So that's why I'm writing new shit that fucking probably is bombing hard as fuck, but I still get shit out of it.
You work out the kinks.
Yeah. But aside from that, like, I got to make my own way.
Yeah.
I can't rely on just because I'm on some dude's show that like they're gonna be pick me up. Now if I'm on somebody's show and there happens to be somebody in the audience that catches my act, then that's a different story. Like, but that's why I started doing the shooters joint.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did the once every other week. And then I was like, fuck it. Why are we not doing this more often? Because I need more time, and especially with my situation right now. I was like, fuck. I need to get as much time as I can. This is the easiest and cheapest way for me to do it.
And worked out in your favor because you do have other local comics that come in from time to time. They might not do it every time.
But they come in and they
and it's a scratch back league. I will honestly say that.
I agree with that.
Comics are we're a very peculiar bunch, I would say. But
I mean that's the
nature of the game. But it's like it's a scratch back league. Like, still to this day, and shout out to Latif. Like, he'll hit me up and like, "Yo, man, you gonna stop by?" I was like, "Hey, I'm busy right now. I got you."
I try to, but I just
like Latif's spots. Latif's, if you want to talk about any spot that's hard, and Latif will tell you, his spot is hard.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've done
his
it.
spot.
I've done it once.
Where does he do this show?
He does.
Is this the one in Fall? Is this the one in
the one
that Fall Church?
He sat down right next to you and told you where it was at.
I know, but I've been
actually we got to get him
bit.
back on too.
But Latif's show, and shout out to him. His show is probably one of the hardest, but it's one of the best.
Yeah.
In terms of, hey, I need to make sure my shit hit.
Yeah.
Because people will laugh or people will give you stone face. You don't get nothing in between.
Yeah.
You get laughs or stone face, and people will walk off like you ain't done shit.
Yeah.
And then, or you go walk out like you feel like an MVP of a fucking game real quick because they be fucking with you the entire time. It's one of those two things, and that's why I love his spot so much. I just haven't had a chance to go. I need to check out David's joint Galactic Panther.
I've done that one once also.
That probably a trippy feeling with all the artwork around.
Well, I came. Well, no, it was weird. I was really late getting there, and he already told the one person that they you could do 10 minutes. You're the last one. But then I showed up, and he was like, oh, fuck it. And then there was some shit going on outside, so people were outside, and Dave wasn't even in there. But Derek Carter,
King Street, yeah. Shout
out to Derek Carter also. He was there, and he gave me the light when I was going. But so I went in, and I got some decent laughs. But then in the middle of my shit, like, some dude comes up there with a bass, because it's an art gallery for the most part. Comes up there with a bass, and after I finish my thing, which thankfully I actually write jokes that are structured, so he knew where to fucking play the shit. So it was like doo whatever the fucking.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope though, dude. You had your own bass guitarist. That's pretty awesome.
So that was cool. And then I got the light, and then my boy Sean, who's been on the show, he was like, yeah, it was okay, but wasn't great. I'm like, motherfucker, this is an open mic again. And I did a lot of my older stuff at the time because I hadn't started writing real new shit. Yeah, I don't think I did bad, but there is a good crowd in that spot.
There's good crowds anywhere you can slice it in Northern Virginia.
If you go, let me know. And
I need to.
If you go, let me know.
I'll definitely let you
your
know.
ass ain't gonna go.
Because I know
you won't be there in time.
They do what Wednesdays? Wednesdays are hard.
Wednesday and Friday.
Friday I can probably do. Friday I can get out of work early and come up here. We can pregame whatever and then head out.
Yeah, we can do, I'm down. Because you might hit Bobby because I know he wants to do it one too.
Yeah, Galactic Panthers is one of those spots I need. I need so because it's David and Derek's spot. So
yeah, you're gonna get a good mix of people because they get people off the street just to come in there and sit. So you're gonna get a good mix of people.
Ooh,
and they serve alcohol and beer or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen that too, but I'm more in particular of green things. But
yeah,
I
don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could get it there. But
oh no, I'm pretty sure. It's actually sure.
It's 2023. It's everywhere.
But nah, man, I definitely understand the thing of new jokes. With my wife being pregnant, I told my wife, I'm like, this is just all going down.
Oh yeah, write all that shit down.
And it's hard, man, because you gotta think about it in a different perspective. But it's one of those things that you gotta work out these muscles. You gotta work out everything you're saying, just like how you work out different topics. You gotta just like build that all stuff out. So a lot of my insecurities about the pregnancy comes out of my comedy. And my wife is like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm okay."
Yeah, I'm over here writing some shit down.
Yeah.
So.
With
you saying that, you know, a father to be, you know, congratulations to that. That from what it sounds like, it's kind of shifted your perspective a little bit when it comes to comedy, or just maybe saying something in particular when it comes to certain. No.
Because my thing, what has really affected me is watching TV shows. To be honest with you,
really,
comedy hasn't changed me, or having a father be comedy hasn't changed me. Other stuff hasn't changed me, but I think TV shows has, because I'm a big medical person, right? I'm a big my wife is a nurse. We like watching medical shows, like Chicago Med, all this stuff. Like,
my sister loves Chicago Med.
I didn't know Hugh Laurie was a comic, by the way.
Really?
Yes. I just watched him do some heckle shit on somebody. Like he was like with a band, but it was a comical band. I didn't know he was a comic.
Oh, from House, yeah, Hugh Laurie, yeah. He dude's hilarious.
Yeah.
But one of the things Chicago Med, and I remember after my wife got announced, told me she was pregnant for 3 episodes straight. It was something about a pregnant woman, some issue, and I'm like, what the? I gotta cut this off. The last episode I had, right, it was this one lady, her husband didn't believe the baby was his as soon as the baby was born. Completely freaked out, ran out the room, ended up in the MR room, got stuck onto the wall because the MRI was on, and then got something attached to his neck because he didn't believe like the baby was his. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was like a certain syndrome. And I'm like, okay, like that's weird. And then the next day we had my ultrasound with my wife, and I'm looking at the ultrasound. Of course, like the person's pointing out like, hey, this, that, and third. And I'm looking over here like, that baby looked like an alien.
Well, at that point, it does look like an alien.
Yeah, it looked like an alien. So I'm like, that looked like an alien. And I was like, is this the same shit that's going on in Chicago? So I was just like, yeah, I'm cutting all that stuff off.
I mean, it might be good for peace of mind.
Oh my God, yes.
That might be a good premise.
But I think.
Am I having an alien baby?
Look, man, I've seen Men in Black. I saw a little baby squid Will Smith was holding, and
X-Files?
Yo, that
I'm a big X-Files fan. I'm a big. No, when I say I'm a big X-Files fan, I enjoy the.
Oh, here we go with his love for David Duchovny.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with David Duchovny. FBI.
Like I said, his love for David Duchovny.
And for all my Simpsons fans out there, David Duchovny, FBI. And so, regardless.
Something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, I'm white. What the fuck do you expect? You know, what do you expect? Yeah, I fucking hate you.
That's perfect.
I text him and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, no, nothing. You know, you want to go to the movie? Yeah, what time you want to go?
First of all, I texted you about the movie first.
I know. Hold on. So, but you sent me the show times and I said, okay. And you're like, okay, what?
Yeah. Bro. I
was driving my car at the time, so I was driving and texting at the same time.
So how you gonna get mad?
You need to use the voice. You need to use the voice text. It saves you so much.
He does.
I typically do, but I felt because when he texted me, I was at a light and I was at like a slow speed, and I was just like, oh,
that's fine. But like, okay, no. See, here's where you fucked up. That's fine. I can send you the fucking picture. You wait until you get to a safe position where you can fucking actually read and see what's going on.
Yeah, I was at a light.
No, that's not safe.
I'm stopped.
Either
You
that,
then don't
either
send
that or
okay,
do a quick
motherfucker.
call. Or do that a quick
Oh
call.
yeah, or call me.
If I called you, would you answer?
It depends on how I feel that day.
It depends. It's crazy. You know, it's funny I say that. If, you know, you talk to all your friends, I mean, you got your most hardcore buddy.
I'm probably the last motherfucker that would answer
and it's
anything.
like, if I called you when I was dying, would you pick up? And then I look at people, and I'm a pretty, you know, I'm a people person.
If you call me twice in a row,
Sums up, yeah.
then I know, all right, I got to answer this.
Yeah, okay, I think that's fair. But have we gotten to that point in all of our lives where it's like somebody calls you, it's like, I don't give a shit, you know?
Nah.
I have a thing on that, but go ahead.
Nah, I'm not like that.
Well, I'm typically not either.
Hold up. For friends, no. Family, yes.
Family, yes, absolutely. Put it this way. If my mom calls me and I don't answer, I know the phone's going to be fucking ringing 45 seconds later. And all she's going to ask me is some random shit.
All right, here, yeah, I get what you're saying. But here, I heard this recently, and it made me, it brought everything into perspective for me. There was a time when if someone called me, even back as far as when we had answering machines on your landline. If I called you and I was out of the house, or I'm sorry, if you called me and I was out of the house, you would leave a message, right?
Yeah.
That means I wasn't available at that time. You leave a message. When I'm available, I will listen to that message and I will call you back if it's necessary. Why do people think that they have direct access to you just because you send them a text or you call them? They don't have direct access. You are allowing them to have direct access to you.
You know, Jared, you say a lot of smart things.
I think a lot, bro. People think I'm an angry guy all the time. No, I'm not angry. I'm just thinking about shit that humans do, and they're just fucking stupid and ridiculous. That's where the anger comes from.
Like, you mad, bro?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
Yeah,
I'll call. So say it's like something important. Like say it's something like really important. I'll call, miss call. I send a text. I know that text will probably be like an hour. Like I'm probably ain't gonna get a response
But people
back.
think they deserve a automatic text immediately, depending on who it is.
Depending on who it is.
Depending on who it is.
And even if it is who it is, if you're not really fucking with that person at the time, like, motherfucker, you might get a text back 2 days later because I'm just not ready to deal with that yet. And when I am ready to deal with that, boom, here we go. You can't get mad at me for fucking trying to keep my fucking sanity.
No, but that's probably one of the smartest things you've ever said.
You say that every show, but
You know what the thing is? You gotta turn off your read text thing.
Been turned off. I need to turn off my text notifications. That's what I need to do. So all I need to know is I don't even want to hear the vibrate and I don't want to hear that shit because I know it's an automatic. That's a text. Or if it's is a text is notification. Because my shit's on vibrate all the time, and then phone calls obviously. But yeah, read text. Nah, bruh. Until I open that little fucking green box with the number on it, I don't know what the fuck. Who said what?
Nah, I look through my notifications. I click on the text and it'll show up. Like if it's long, I'm like, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah, that sounds
But if
like
it's short, I'm like, all right, what you want? It's like, oh, I'm just checking. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get you back to you in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
But
everyone looks at their phone for that text and that notification.
My thing is, if I check it and I read it, I'm not gonna go back to it. I have to if I read it, I'm gonna have to answer immediately because if not, then that text is out of my mind. That's ADHD shit. Like if I don't see it right there in front of me, I don't know what it doesn't exist to me. You know what I'm saying?
So the accessibility that we all have now with our cell phones, which
We allow it.
Yeah, no, but that's a good point because back in the day, you know, if somebody called your house and you're not home, and
or before even fucking machines existed, if you called your house, you just got. They're just not home.
Or so-and-so is either at home, maybe they're in the shower, maybe they're in their basement, maybe they're walking their dog.
Maybe they're not home.
Maybe, well, yeah, but I'm just saying there's always a possibility. But now, since we have the accessibility to just say, hey, I can talk to whomever, whenever, at whatever time of day.
There's an expectation.
Yeah, there's
because I want you to I want access to you. I have to have it at that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then
that's
when you
bullshit.
don't get it, that's where all the negative shit comes
Yeah.
from. It's like, oh, you don't fuck with me, or you can't answer my text. It's like, well, hey, dude,
No, I don't fuck with you because you're acting like that.
yeah, well, which is fine. Well, and trust me, I'm sure we've all have dealt with somebody like that. But it's like, hey, man, I knew my phone was ringing, but I was out in my bathroom pushing out a turd or whatever the case may be. I don't have to get
have
up
to go all there
immediately.
now, but I mean-
no, I'm just saying.
But no,
but he's right. But I'm right. I'm right.
Finally,
Yes. All right.
The Rock has come back.
To what? If you smell.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to do it one
I
time.
fucked up.
Yeah, sorry.
That was my bad, everybody. I didn't mean to bring the wrestling bullshit. Okay.
You
Look,
walked into it.
Matter of fact, now the glasses come off.
no, because I'm the last one standing.
Yeah, you are. No, you were gonna be.
Nah, but with wrestling, I'm sorry, I gotta keynote this. Did you see the turn on Jimmy to Roman Reigns? Or you not?
Oh yeah! Oh hell yeah! Dude, believe it or not, when we actually stopped at the local watering hole, I was scrolling through my phone. I knew.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
I knew tonight the company.
Come on.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Come
Hey,
on.
I'm trying to get him to go to Philly with me next year for Mania.
Oh, Philly's nice.
Oh, dude.
Dude,
He's
you gotta
trying
go
to get for fucking WrestleMania.
Dude, I haven't been to a wrestling event, but Philly's a crowd that you want to be at.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
been to a wrestling
This
event.
this is where the original.
I heard they're a good
ECW
comedy town.
See, look, that's I
heard Philly's a good
old
comedy
school.
town.
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot of
super
old school. A lot of old school people like, man, Philly's EC Dub.
ECW.
But I'm like,
yeah,
there's some very northeast areas that wrestling is just like
It's religion.
blood. It's
Yeah,
religion.
it's religion.
blood.
And believe it or not, funny enough, when me and Jared, he just hates me because he loves me. But so believe it or not, while we were standing in line today for me to buy my big ass minty Truly,
Yeah.
we ran into a friend of ours who used to work at Lucky's. I used to talk to him all the time. He was with his girlfriend. He said, hey, what are you guys here to see? And I said, oh, we're here to see the machine. He said, hey, so he's one of the 8 people in the theater with his girl. So after the movie, I come out, take my piss, come out, and he's standing out in the hall, and I chop it up with him
I
a
just
little
figured out who the Blue Giant or whatever the name was. That's him.
bit. Yeah. So,
Oh my god.
So he so I started chopping it up with him a little bit, and he was like, what'd you think of the movie? I said, hey man, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
What did he say?
He liked it too.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie.
No, it wasn't.
It
was. I don't want to say it's better than I expected. It was. I just expected.
I thought it was a little. I thought it was a little more serious than I
Oh,
expected.
it was a lot more
Yeah,
serious than I expected.
and that's when I was kind of telling him I thought that film was kind of like which I'm assuming is true. That whole scenario with his daughter, him going live. That's not a real thing.
No,
Oh,
that's what I told you. The
I see.
only part that's true, and
It's the Russian story.
yeah, and not all of that's
Oh,
probably
okay.
true either because it's a stand up routine.
It's ad lib.
Yeah, it's a stand up routine.
Well, obviously this is going to change my.
It's comedy,
perspective.
bro. It's
yeah,
comedy.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, but obviously at the time before Jared just kind of informed me, but I was like, hey, if this is true, I thought it was more of like an apology note to his daughter, like, hey, I'm a grown man, I'm changing, I used to party a lot, I don't want.
You're
You still don't watch Bert.
yeah. Look.
But that just shows you
That
how
was
kind
just-
of oblivious I am to some of this
him
stuff.
acting about or being the way he was in certain scenes that's who Bird is. Like that, I was.
Oh, that I believe. But the whole
just overreacting type.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Bird.
No. So, I mean, there were a couple of good moments in the film with that. No, but initially, because I'm going in, I'm thinking, oh, this is probably based on his life to a degree. Like,
Yeah,
there's probably
yeah.
some fabrication
A
to it.
very
Loosely
small degree.
Yeah, okay. But the story about his daughter, just knowing him as a comedy,
that was not his daughter.
I'm not saying the chick in this
Okay.
film. I just meant the story in general. The
I know
idea.
what I'm trying to tell you is, here's what I'll tell you, and I'm not giving anything away. That part that you're talking about is a dramatized version of how he feels and his daughters feel about him being famous,
Okay, so
and
that
them having to deal with people who know who their dad is.
Not only just as a comic, but as one of the fucking craziest partiers
Yeah.
of all.
Yeah. Exactly.
His
Yeah.
stories based on Animal House.
Yeah, I mean, just from the movie and from the little bit that Jared has showed me, and that I've seen, he
was named the number one partier in 1994. Like this dude.
You know how he got his fucking start?
Was it cocaine?
He was
partying at FSU.
Yeah, Rolling Stone was doing a story on the number one party schools in America, and what ended up happening is like they went to I guess FSU and they were like asking people like, "Yo, where the parties at? Blah blah blah. You want a party? You got to go talk to this guy." And they all said the same thing to the reporters about Bert. So Bert ended up going all around campus and partying with this guy, and he wrote the story. He ended up not writing about the school. He wrote it about Bert. So that's where he became. He's got some lucky breaks along the way.
Yeah.
Off of that, he met Will Smith, and they were trying to do a pilot together for some show. So he knew Will Smith early on.
Before he became
just after
I wonder
he
if that was
graduated
for
college.
Hitch. I wonder if that was for Hitch.
Maybe because Kevin James was already pretty famous,
and Kevin James pretty famous. But it seemed like if there was going to be anybody that can pick up steam and
it might have been him.
Might have been him. I can see that in the change real quick.
But he got Bert he got a bunch of Travel Channel shit. He was on the Travel Channel. He was on Discovery. He did a couple shows on both of those, but he was still doing stand up at the same time. So and then the Machine fucking years later hit, and he just blew up. And then him and Tom are best friends, and they've been knowing each other. Tom knows his kids. They used to go to their house all the time. Like I know all this from podcasts and all this shit. So he's been around for a long time.
No, and I believe that, but to your credit, to what you were just saying, and I think
to my credit, how many times have you said that today?
I don't know. It's what I say, Jared.
If you said to my credit, your credit score went up 50 points.
Yeah, it's 50 points. Yeah. Pay your bills.
But how does this relate to WWE?
Yeah, how does that relate to WWE?
Well, hold on. Well, you got I felt like I was interrupted in some.
Although he knows, what's the dude from he used to be in AEW. Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, yeah,
Cody
absolutely.
Rhodes.
The American
Bert
Nightmare.
knows him.
Oh, dude, that's fucking awesome. I mean, Cody Rhodes, the son of Dusty Rhodes.
Okay,
carry on. Anyway, no, but to what you were saying about wrestling and what I was going to say about the film is like you were just saying like, hey, well, what you just told me is like, hey, it's about his daughters dealing with him as a person.
That's not what the movie's about.
I understand that,
but it's loosely based on what I was saying.
Yeah, so I still feel there is some degree that film was made for his kids and for his daughters.
I don't know about that one.
And you saying Roman Reigns was made for his family?
Nah. So to your degree, and we were talking about going out to Philly.
Yeah.
So I was talking to our friend after the movie, and I was just chopping it up with him. And I'm a big Steelers fan. My family's from Pittsburgh. My mom's side of the family.
I saw everything in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Go to my grandma's house. It's a yellow button, too. So very appropriate.
Yeah.
Regardless, he was telling me... I fucking hate this guy. I do. No, but he was telling me because he has a good job, and he said, hey, man, because he works security. And he said, hey, man, I thought about you about 2 weeks ago. He said, I got to essentially kind of pat down Terry Bradshaw. And he said he was looking one way. They said, hey, sir, can you turn around? He took his hat off, and he just kind of had a starstruck moment. And he was like, oh, shit, you're Terry Bradshaw.
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, okay? Steel Curtain. Iron City. All right. I don't know why I do this week in and week out. I really don't. My mom's like, you got to go downstairs and do the podcast. And I look at my mother and I was like, you mean for Jared to roast me?
I wasn't roasting you. I was roasting him because he patted down Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. But I said, hey, man, I've always said I'm going to be one of those people, if I ever met somebody famous, I'm not going to freak out, right? But if I met Terry Bradshaw, I would probably geek out a little bit just because my grandmother is a huge fan of his. I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. I mean, the guy is brought us 4 championships. I obviously was not alive. I did not see any of this, but he's a big part of that culture.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about, famous people. If we met him, and his girlfriend said, hey, she said, I work at a bar in D.C., she said, I met a couple of famous rappers, whomever. She said, the one person that kind of I just lost my shit over was meeting Dave Bautista. Ooh. Oh, and I was like, you know what? I was like, dude, if I met Batista, I would do the whole, shaking the ring ropes, Batista bomb. And I was like, well, shit. I said, that's awesome. I said, I'm still a big fan. I'm a mark, pretty much.
Gay!
To a degree. And I fucking hate this place. And it's my own home, oh my God. So what do you do at night, RJ, when you sit in your room? I think about Jared and how I can conquer his life. But I said, hey, I'm still a big nerd. And they were like, oh, we went to WrestleMania. And me just, boom, light bulb in my head. I said, oh, did you go to L.A. this year? And they were like, no. They were like, we went a couple years ago. They were like, you have to go. And our buddy Sean, shout out to him, goes every year. He's a big fan. I said, hey, it's next year in Philly for the 40th anniversary. I said, hell yeah, I'm going to. It's literally one of my bucket list things. Just, I only got to go to one. I don't have to go to 2, 3, 4, or whatever.
It was 39 last year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking about it.
But at the same time, they were like, yo, you have to go. And I'm looking at him, and you don't really, as a wrestling fan, it's, at least for me, it's not, I mean, I'll talk about it with Jared and amongst my buddies.
Yeah.
But when I go out in public, it is something I simply do not
First of all, I
about.
refuse to hear you talking about it.
Yeah,
I cut you off on a regular
No, but that's what I'm saying. You got people like douchebag over here, who's just like, motherfucker. Exactly. You cock meat sandwich, or whatever it is. And I'm like, hey, and I told him, I said, hey, it's not anything I literally, like, if I were to go out on a date in 2036, whatever it is, Jared's over here like, what the fuck? But if
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
All the way, baby.
I don't know.
Dude, I fucking hate this fucking show. These curtains, this whole layout is awful.
But if it's ain't WrestleMania, especially now they're doing 2 days instead of one.
Well, they did that because of COVID.
Yeah.
And
they stuck with it.
It's just stupid.
No, I think what it does, it is a lot of wrestling, especially for a fan to kind of consume it all in a 2-day period. But it also
1 day period is horrible. That show was like 5 hours long.
Yeah, so they separated.
I would rather get the hotel for one night or 2 nights than fucking 5.
But here's the thing: they sell. It's not you buy a ticket and you get both nights. You buy a ticket for one night. That's how they double up their money quick.
No, I get. Well, I guess what I'm saying, because our buddy Sean, he does both nights.
That's too much.
No, well he
saves up all year for this shit.
No, and he's allowed to, because
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying, like, live your life. But I'm just saying he saves his money all year for that shit. He'll go out. He does the extra shows. He gets pictures with all the fucking old wrestlers.
So he does the whole experience. Like
good. It's worth it.
I mean, he's got for him. Yeah. He's got pictures with Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, X-Pac. I mean,
he's got autographs on a picture that he brought for RJ that RJ just was supposed to laminate. Exactly.
It'll be framed next week, folks. It'll be
good question, Will. Where?
Yo,
Will, I know you haven't
been.
Yeah, you're just over here.
Man like
just
that.
Bringing the white man down.
Like I like that, but I mean, like,
well, this is a friend of ours.
Yeah,
she did that.
That's dope.
Famously,
I have a story that I tell everybody. I originally wanted to buy. She did that on a big piece of plywood, like big 8x10 or whatever that shit is. And I wanted the original, and at the time, I just couldn't afford it. She wanted, I think she wanted $400 for it at the time. I really wanted it because we were doing the podcast then, and I was like, "Yo, I need some artwork for my podcast."
Background, yeah.
And I really wanted that because I love that piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yo, if I ever get rich, I want you, because I saw that, I don't know if you ever saw that picture of somebody painted David Bowie on the bottom
Mm-hmm.
of their pool. I was like, I want you to paint that on the bottom of my pool, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward, I still couldn't afford it. And then the next time that I had a little more money, I was like, yo, where you have that thing? She was like, no, some gallery has it, and I was like, well, how much do they want for it now? She was like, I think it's $800 now. I'm like, ugh, I can't afford that shit. So my 40th birthday comes.
Shout out to her for putting out $800 worth of work.
Actually, Bobby B knows her from he's seen her work in Miami, which was crazy. That's why I'm trying to get her on the fucking show.
Her work doubles, bro. Like you got 400
She's.
on the NK.
I've known her since high school. She's a wonderful person, super sweet, and her talent is immaculate. I mean,
Brianna Herzog is.
check her art out, please, if you can.
I don't know if she has a website or not.
She is a phenomenal artist. I mean, you know, it's like when you're in middle school, high school, you take art. I took art class because I've always been into creativity and all that other stuff. And then you go in there and you got the guys drawing their stick figures, and then you got the guys that are drawing a little better than stick figures. But then you got the one student that just, you know, hey, what did you draw?
Just blows your shit out the water. Yeah.
And they turn it around, and it's like fucking Picasso or Da Vinci or what. I mean, it's just magical. It's just talent. I mean, it's pure raw talent, and that is something that she has.
Here's her website right here.
Oh, she got that trippy stuff.
Well, this
all her
this
stuff
is
is
a site. I don't know if this is her.
Go
website.
go top, go to top.
Top
Go to artists to the left hand side.
left.
Left.
Artists. Oh, that's her. Oh, yeah. This is a site. A bunch of artists are on there. But-
Brianna, go down.
Oh, she's right here. This is her page.
Oh, word.
See her name right there.
Yeah, I can't read.
She is
No, web guy.
Yo, what the fuck is Wolfie about real quick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She is
Oh yeah.
insanely talented, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
So
she's-
this is well,
That's $35?
my point is she gave me this for my 40th birthday because she knew how much I wanted it. She was like, "This is your gift for your 40th birthday," and I put it up here.
There's
There's
that
a
is-
lot going on. This is Bender, bro.
That is handmade.
from Futurama.
That is handmade.
I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely dig that, but what she got from
Oh, no, she
Wolfie
got a lot of
and
shit.
Fairies real quick.
You
Yeah,
gotta
her
see
art is. I mean, it's your imagination, but her talent is.
That's only $35
extraordinary.
bucks?
That's a print, probably.
An extraordinary talent, and
But if you let me know, I can get you to where you can find actual
Nah,
like pieces
So
of hers.
for me, because I know when I move into my new spot, my second bedroom, which is gonna be my office / baby room,
You want some art?
I'm gonna put some motherfucking art in.
yeah, you gotta. I mean, if it's gonna be your baby room / man cave kind of thing for a while
Yeah.
till the kid gets a little older,
Yeah.
then yeah, you got to decorate a little bit. But she is just always, as long as I've known her, been
Jesus
so
Christ.
talented, man.
Her, she's good.
Insanely
This is the
talented,
type of art I'm into.
And-
the Bunny Jones, fucking amazing.
and she is
and
all.
the bunny one is kind of early. That was a few years ago. I remember when she was doing that one.
And I remember, no bullshit, one time I was sitting at Lucky's. All right, I'm sitting at the bar just because it's a bar, and I was going out to have a smoke. And she said, "Hey, RJ, I got bored." And on the back of a receipt or some, thermal tape, she drew the back of my head looking at the one of the screens, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
and I
She's a beast.
She's insanely talented.
I'm mesmerized
insanely
by,
talented.
by just. I'm assuming that's her artwork with that blowing.
Oh,
thing.
behind there?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's her. Yeah. You can tell her style. Her style is that.
Her
I
style-
believe, if I'm not mistaken, she uses like digital stuff now, like a digital pad and all that stuff.
And guess what? I'm going to be a little partial. She may not agree with me, but I was telling her originally she should, back when we were first talking about it, because I used to be hardcore into graphic design, and I still do a lot of digital, and I use Photoshop and all that shit. She's way more advanced than I am as far as that stuff. But I was telling her, I was like, you need to get into digital because, paint and print and paint and all that is cool to know the art. But if you learn how to do the same thing on digital, you're gonna be way ahead of a lot of people. And I kind of take credit for that. She may not agree with that, but right after that, she started doing digital, and she'll even she'll do time lapse of her creating the shit and post that on her social media and stuff too.
Bruh.
Yeah.
She got the type of art that I just need in a room I can just smoke all day.
It's that's pretty much.
It's trippy. It's creative. But that's. I mean, they say
She must
beauty.
watch a lot of anime too, the way her style is.
I'm not sure if she's an anime fan. I'm not 100% on.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
that's the bubble. Hold on, go to that bubble jump real quick. Like that jump right there. No, it's just like certain stuff I'm noticing that when you see art, I'm a big creative person. Art class was my horrible thing. Like my art thing would be like, I made something for my parents and they used it as a coin hoarder or some shit.
Yeah, you make the little bowl or whatever. That, using clay.
A lot of that stuff I did too. What I noticed though, because I used to fuck off in art because I'd be like, oh, this shit is fucking, this is fucking easy A type shit. But the times that I noticed, and I had one art teacher, I think it was 7th grade or 8th grade. I can't remember. I think it was 7th grade. There's one art teacher, and I don't remember her name, but she was kind of hard on me. And because I don't know why, but she was like, look, either you're going to work in this class. And I remember one time I just sat down, and it took me a minute, but I sat down and we had to draw these faces where it was like our face matched up with meshing into something else. Like, I think we had to do animals or whatever. So I chose I think it was a leopard. So I drew my face and I drew a leopard, and like my face kind of merging into the leopard. It wasn't a full merge because I had only done the sketch. I didn't put any coloring in it, but I actually focused and did the shit, and the shit came out fire. I don't even know where that painting is or that drawing is. I think it was at that school, and she probably kept it. It's like, this is one of my students or some shit. That shit was fire, bro. Even for me looking at it, I'm like, look back at it because she was surprised. She was like, "You did this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just sat here." She was like, "How'd you do it?" I was like, "I just sat here and did it." And one of the things that she taught me when it comes to drawing and when it comes to art, if you're trying to imitate something else or draw something else, you fucking draw what you see. And by her saying that specific thing made me think. It was like, oh, shit. So then if I see the line here, I'm going to draw a line here. I don't know. Just that saying made me fucking think a whole different way about it.
No. When it comes to I guess drawing, I was really big
into Hollywood. Yes, it is.
The best drawing I've ever done, and we're gonna go back to Dragon Ball Z.
Gotcha.
Is when the Cell games was prevalent on TV, and for anybody who's a Dragon Ball Z fan who knows who Cell is, perfect Cell is knows that Goku didn't beat Cell, Gohan did. Gohan did with one arm, with a Kamehameha blast and all this other shit. So the best drawing that I personally have ever done, I had somebody gave me a photo of basically Gohan with his one arm out, performing the blast with his other arm broken, with the blood coming down and all that shit.
I thought you were going to say fellatio.
No.
You said performing fellatio.
We're adults. Grow up.
Yeah, I know. That's an adult thing to say.
I understand that, but I'm
joking. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I remember this was like when I was really big into drawing and all that shit at the time. I took maybe 3 days I didn't trace over this drawing. I just looked at it and I just tried to draw it piece for piece, line for line, like you say. And it came out excellent. Yeah. I mean, it is by far.
Focus, bro.
I mean, dude, but the cool thing about, and I know they're probably not popular now, erasers on pencils. Do kids even use pencils anymore?
I mean, for drawing, yeah, people use pencils because I have a pencil set at my house. It's like you have different weights of pencils because different weights have different.
You still draw
textures
from time to time?
It's been a while, but I have the shit next to my bed, and I could pick it up, and I have sketchbooks, and I've been lazy. And
what I do sometimes when I'm bored at work, I'll draw shapes. I'll draw like a sphere or a cone or
doodling.
We all doodle. But y'all ever seen the Doodle King or the Doodle Art King?
No.
So
I can look it up.
Look it up. There's this guy. He does doodles. I don't know his name. By the way, she's the type of chick that I would love to have just paint out a whole room and just like, hey,
She could do it.
white wall, do whatever the fuck you want.
She could do it.
It'll probably be one of the more amazing things you ever see.
Oh my god!
But I do remember when I finally finished my drawing. I didn't even color it in.
Just put in Doodle Painter.
Doodle Painter.
Not Doodle King.
There you go.
Okay.
This guy.
Let me see if I can do this without making the noise play.
So
he did a whole house in that art.
All right, give me a second. Y'all keep talking.
So, but I finished my drawing and I was showing it to everybody because it was one of the more proud moments. Obviously, as a young person, I said, "Hey, I drew this. I felt top tier." It's like, yo, I drew a anime character, and everybody was praising it, and they were like, "Yo, this is so good." But I didn't really keep up with it. You get into your teen years and you get involved with a bunch of whatever. And I was just it is by far the best drawing I have ever done in my life. I wish I still had it. It was so good. It was so good. Look
up a video of like Mr. Doodle doodling a house or something like that. Because he did a whole house in this style, a white and black house. And I think he has a short. House.
I mean, I think somebody's mind
The
has to
doodle
work.
house, there we go.
Yeah. I think somebody's mind has to work a certain way.
He did all of this.
Oh fuck! Hold on, give me a second.
That's the speed of the video.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, give me a second so I can not so everybody can see it.
Oh,
but I don't want the sound to come through. So let's see.
So sound is off. So, he not only did the bed, he did the walls and everything around.
God damn.
The ceiling.
Oh, look at this, the steps on there too. Oh shit. So this is like an animation of him.
No, he did this in an actual real house.
No, he did it in a real house, but
it's
an animation of him.
Yeah. How long did that
I wonder
take
how
him?
the video, how long it took. I really
It had to take forever.
I mean, dude, even the most skilled artist was
shit, bro.
For people listening, this guy, he drew all this stuff. He's in this house, but it's like time lapse forward, but he's just doing mad designs.
I think after he got that suit on.
Yeah, as he's walking around the house, like there's different images being drawn all over the walls. But I guess he really drew these things?
Yes, he did this all in the Sharpie.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, again, you don't know how somebody's mind. This is pretty fascinating, man. I mean,
This seems animated,
bro. It's not animated. He did this entire house.
Man, even the editing is crazy. That's one thing I want to talk about on the Machine movie. I don't know if you noticed, but my movie head self was noticing the transitions. A lot of the transitions were fucking crazy. Like that scene where you see the contrails coming like behind the airplane.
Yeah,
and then it goes into the guy sniffing the coke.
Yeah.
Bruh, some of the and then the one where it was the rug, and then it went into the ground. Like,
yeah,
it was like you could see the purple, then the brown. The transitions in that movie were fucking crazy. They did a good job with the editing.
It's a good movie, folks. Check out The Machine.
I actually remember he went into detail about how he did this. I think it took him like 2 to 3 years.
Oh yeah,
it has to. I mean, something like that. You don't know the size of this room, and if anything were to take him some time, I would think it'd be his imagination more than his.
And then the whole
skill
thing
set.
has to be white too, because even the plant was painted white.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sheesh.
I mean, if he did the whole outside of the house too, I mean that's just
crazy.
on
He's
another
done
level.
Cars. He will sit in place and do it for like hours.
That's crazy as fuck.
That takes an insane amount of focus as well.
Like,
I mean,
and you seen some of the stuff, and it looks cool, but it's just he's just a doodle. He just doodles.
The doodle head.
He Mr. Doodle.
He's a doody head.
Well, doodling is a form of it's a form of art, but it's also a form of relieving stress. It's like I remember I think my 8th grade history teacher. She was like, "Hey, when you're done with your test, if you want to draw at the top of your paper,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's okay because it's a way of relieving stress. It's normal,
Look, once the test is over, my stress is relieved, bitch. Just
I-
grade my shit, let me out.
Well, yeah, but it's also one of those tests where you got to wait till everybody's done. You got a 45-minute time limit, and it's like, hey, if you
That's
finish
why I like
before
college
you're-
better. As soon as I'm done, I can leave.
Bro,
Although that would create anxiety when you're in school and everybody else is fucking done and you're still sitting there like, what the fuck?
You remember when you used to see the person in college and they'd be the first two people come up and like, yo, how the fuck did this guy?
Yeah, like what are you doing? But see, I have the experiences. Like I think I ended up getting better grades than those people because those people were they were rushing and they probably weren't checking their answers or whatever. But
Checking your answers is very important. I remember in the 6th grade. Did you
Oh
guys
my
ever?
God.
Hold on.
back in my day,
Back in my day, did you guys ever play? Oh God, what is it? I hate myself for not knowing it, but it's basically
we're at 2 hours, by the way.
for the love of God.
That's what I'm letting you know.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
So before that, did you guys ever have that test where your teacher gave you the whole multiplication sheet and you had a minute to figure it out? Like every
Yeah.
So when it comes to arithmetic, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
When it comes to more advanced math, okay.
You lost me with shapes.
Yeah, geometry's
Pretty hard.
It can be.
No,
I agree.
geometry's not that bad. Regular mathematician stuff like that, the sheet thing, I used to love that.
Wait,
That's not
geometry is the shapes. What do you?
bad.
No, he's talking about like multiplication,
But
though,
talking
like
about
the sheet that I'm talking
What
about.
what I meant to say was anything past senior geometry, fuck that shit. I'm talking about calculus. Like,
Yeah,
all that shit.
so I took calculus for the first quarter of my senior year. I didn't need it to graduate, and obviously looking back on it, it's like, hey, teacher's trying to be a teacher, but I had no interest in it. And it's like, hey, if Johnny's eating an apple on a train and the sun's revolving, where's his banana? And it's like, what?
That's not
Yeah,
even it.
You know what I'm saying?
Where's his
Like,
banana?
Yeah, like where is his banana? But
Where's the
regardless,
shade of the
I like
banana?
trig. Trig was I did that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that till
all
college.
that.
Yeah.
But I like trig only because my brain, the way I understand the world is I have to be able to see how it like actually plays out. With trig, I could see how it actually played out because I was into science and with science and with radio waves and sine and cosine and all that. That's basically how you figure out like the wavelength of something. So for me, I was like, oh, this equates to if this tower is transmitting this far, depending on which frequency this wave is or this radio frequency is, I can see how long it takes. I don't know. I'm just making up shit.
Mhm.
But I could see how it is practical. Geometry, kind of practical. Wasn't that great at it. Algebra, that shit was fucking a different language to me. I hated algebra.
You had more fun time in trig and
Yes.
cal. Algebra was my
Not
shit.
not so much calculus.
Algebra
never
was
took
my
calculus.
shit. Algebra was my shit.
Algebra, like
algebra's not bad,
I
but
don't need to fucking figure out how many apples that Johnny had on Wednesday.
to find his banana, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's and as a senior in high school, the stoner, I'm a poet, like I don't need none of you, whatever mindset I have. I was just like, I don't need this shit. And I think that kind of goes back to me being a kid because my dad always taught me, he said, hey, RJ, if you can read and write and you can add and subtract, said everything else doesn't matter. And that's obviously
Truly, that's what it is in today's world.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true up to a certain
an extent.
level.
And I'm not saying my dad was right about everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you do need some,
if you
extra
want to
steps.
do, depending on what you want to do, like if you wanted to be fucking, I don't know, a rocket science or a fucking pilot, you got to know a little bit more than that.
Yeah, and I'm sure he would have supported that. And obviously, it was different times, so
Yeah.
But I remember in the 6th grade,
Computers do everything now.
my teacher gave us the multiplication sheet. I was ready for it, dude. I banged this thing out so quick, man, dude. I was like, boom, 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 boom. And then the whole process is like, okay, everybody had a minute. We're going to go through the answers. And I was so confident in myself, bro. I mean, I nailed everything.
Didn't check your answers.
So first one comes up, 5 times 5, 25. All right. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I'm over there. And I sat in the back of the class because
You're an ass.
yeah, that's okay.
Class
and then the second one came by. I think it was like 6 times 6, which is 36, obviously. And obviously my dumbass wrote 12 because I was going so fast. I got every other answer on
But I
this.
thought you had the multiplication. I thought you had the answers already.
Well, in my head, I had the answers.
Oh,
No, it was a test.
Oh,
So I sit there, and I'm so confident. I was so happy. I think I finished one of the first people to finish.
Nope.
And my teacher's reading the answer. The first one, I was like, yeah.
You're the first one to finish, first one to fail.
And I was. And then she said the second one, and then you just heard, and the whole class heard me, and I was just like, and everybody laughed because they're like, oh, RJ got it wrong. And then she went through the other 28 numbers, and I got them all right. I got the second one wrong because I was just going so fast. You know what I mean?
This motherfucker here.
I thought you said every other for a
I
second.
thought he failed the test or some shit. He missed one question, and he's crying like a little bitch.
No. So what, Jared? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I think 2 points right. Math, writing. What was it? Math, writing,
And
add or subtract.
Adam said, just like the basic forms of everything.
history, and tech.
Yeah.
I think that's the 6 things you really need in life.
Yeah.
You gotta understand history.
Why history?
You gotta understand history to understand your future.
Okay, you fucking philosopher ass motherfucker.
It's crazy. We actually made a mad scientist dashiki for you. I'm allowed to get one, folks, and that was it.
That was it. On that note, we need to end.
All right, folks. All right. I'm going to put my fist up here in a moment. Regardless, folks, you know what it is? You know what time it is. You know exactly what time it is. It is time for us to say goodbye yet again for this episodic weekly episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. Motherfucker. The most important podcast, the most popular podcast in North America, the world, and soon to be Cuba.
Your presumption is correct, nigga.
Exactly. So with that being said, folks, Will, thank you so very, very much for coming back over. Congratulations, father-to-be. Okay. To Jared Lee Comedy over here. All right. I'm not going to call him.
Next show is June 1st, Thursday at Shooters. Please come out. And then that following Tuesday, also, please come out. And you might, if you do come on that Tuesday, you might see me cuss somebody else out just doing karaoke.
Me.
Yeah. if you're gonna heckle, beware.
Great Scott!
So with that being said, folks, thank you for listening to episode 183 of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. As always, it is I, RJ the Pizza Guy, along with Jared, the visual mad scientist. Jared, say goodbye. He's saying goodbye, folks. And Will, thank you again very, very much for coming over.
No worries.
Hopefully to have you back soon.
Yes.
And we will see you guys next time around 6 p.m.-ish.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, you know.
But you can catch this show on Monday.
On Mondays, anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Mondays for the visual on YouTube.
Please review on YouTube, or not YouTube, iTunes, and like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, and if you want to come over, stop being a bitch.
I agree.
Yeah, so stop being a bitch.
RJ's actually getting good at this podcast thing.
Finally. It's only taken 7 years.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace, love, and bye.
Boom. Bye.
I'm gonna hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever, 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 ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab. The Merit Scientist Lab.
You can't have an opinion on something if you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The Merit Scientist